That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes. Halfway on a slow move. It's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land, so I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me. Showed me. You showed me love. Glory from above. Regardless, dear, it's all downhill from here. In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nosedive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me. Showed. You showed me love. Glory from above. Regardless, dear, it's all downhill from here. Real life, about how it was. I'm G, Michael Jackson, all this shit. Say what up to Randy, the shoe. Say what up to Danny. Say what up to life and my child. So sweet, bitch, I might like immortality. This is life, immortality. That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes. Halfway on a slow move. It's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land, so I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me. Showed me. You showed me love. Glory from above. Regardless, dear, it's all downhill from here. In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nosedive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me. Showed. You showed me love. Glory from above. life, and more.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyatt Live. It is after 1 o'clock, but I'm here. What's good? Let's do a sound check. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if we're good. I'm gonna dive right in. Short show today. First thing I'm gonna say after I do another sound check is this. Hold on. Sound check. 1 2 1 2. Are we good? I'm not going to keep going until somebody hits the thumbs up. Hit the thumb up if we're good on YouTube. Hit the thumb up if we're good on Facebook. Hit the thumb up if we're good on X. Hit the thumb up if we're good on Twitter. Hit the thumb up if we're good on TikTok. Hit the thumb up. I promise no one will try to shame you because you watch Wyatt Live. I think those days are over by now. Or you just don't care. Hit the thumb if you can hear me. That way I know that you're here. Hit the thumb up and let me know. Appreciate it. I want to say this to you first. I want to just say I apologize for Friday. I was not here Friday. The family got together, yo. It was a weekend. It was a weekend, holiday weekend. We had, pardon me, Easter. So the family all flew in and we just, we did the family thing. We did a weekend family situation. And I got a little surprise. I knew everybody was coming in, but whenever they say, Dad, we're going to go to this and we're going to do this and this and that, it's on us. Well, I'm going to beat your ass to the car. I'm going to be the first one. I'm always the first one in the car. But I had the car started up and I was halfway down the driveway and I realized nobody was in the car because they never say, Dad, we gonna treat. It's on us. So we got you. We gonna buy this lunch is on us. Huh? Yeah, and then we gonna go get ice cream after that. We gonna chill. We gonna do like what we used to do. Yeah. I'm like, I'm in the car. I'm waiting on y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a good weekend for your boy, for your dad, for the dad. Daddy, we gonna go get we went to one of our little favorite restaurants. I didn't do it too hard to him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take them all the way up top. See, when I pay, it's funny how the restaurant names are a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? The restaurant names are a little bit different when Daddy got the bill. When they want to go and they gonna pay for the shit, which is very seldom, just be honest. They don't want to go to the ones that sound, the upscale joints. It's always the burger joint type joint. You know what I mean? The simple, well, we're gonna go get the $5 some old shit, some old pieced up deal. But when I pick up the bill, it's about, well, we're gonna sit outside, out by the water, and we're gonna pick. Yeah, I love them little drinks. I love the drinks. They got the Shirley Temples, Daddy. I love those. I like them. They make Shirley Temples better over at Rostas. Just it's always when Daddy got the bill, it's always high, But with them saying, "Come on, Dad, we're gonna take you out," because I really wanted to go home. I just wanted to stay home and chill. It was a beach day. Weather was great. I'm like, why don't we go to the beach and just chill? Just kind of chill out. That's what I want to do. If y'all gonna make this about Daddy Day, if you're gonna make it about Dad and the family being all together, why don't we do what we used to do and go to the beach and chill and just have that type of day? I'm cool with a bologna sandwich on the beach. I'm cool with that. Nah, Daddy, we want to eat. We want to eat out. We want to have a good time, do what we used to do. All of us here together. It's been a minute since we actually did it this way. So let's do that. I'm like, okay. So we went to a halfway deal. It wasn't a 4-star. It wasn't a 3-star. It was a 2.5. It was a 2.5 star. I'm like, okay, I can live with this. I'm cool with this. Let's go, ladies. So I beat them to the car. Trust me. I'm getting in the car. I'm ready to go. I'm halfway down the driveway, if you want to call it that. Realize their asses is not even in the car yet because they paying. I'm like, let's go. Let's get it. I beat them to the car. The only people that can relate to what I'm saying are those daddies that go through what I'm going through. And that's probably some moms. I don't want to discriminate. I don't want to be that guy. There's probably some moms with a family be like, hey, mama, we're going to take you out. And you beat the whole family to the car. Let's go then, damn it. I got my place. I got the place picked out and everything. Y'all been there before. I'm sure everybody's been there before. Great weekend for me personally, because I got an opportunity to be with the family and talk about up and coming things that we have coming up. Love to do that. Y'all know I'm going to be going out of town soon. My baby graduates on May the 3rd. So that weekend will be in Nashville. So we're talking about getting to Nashville the end of this month, cleaning out my daughter's apartment. So I got that nasty talk out of the way of cleaning up and emptying the apartment. There's not much in there. Anybody that know anything about dorm rooms, this isn't a dorm, but it's on-campus apartment. Okay, it's not considered dorm, but it's campus living. So it's just an apartment with her and her roommate that's there. And pretty much everything is out. The refrigerator stays. All the furniture in there was provided by the the school put all the furniture and stuff in there. So all we had to do was get her stuff out. The majority of her stuff is gone. Clothes and everything are out of the apartment. And the only thing we got to go to Nashville to do is graduate. So on May the 3rd, that weekend, I'll be moving my daughter's clothes and just some TVs and things like, a few big items. Her sister drove to Nashville last week and like brought all her clothes, took them all home. You know what I mean? So she has very little. And now we're all together now. So we'll go back the final weekend of, the final week of this week, stay for a couple days in Nashville. I'm gonna love Nashville that weekend because we're gonna party totally different. The party ain't gonna be about, hey, the accomplishment of the graduation. Let's get it. Let's do it. We're gonna clean that apartment out. Her graduation is on Sunday afternoon. Right after that, right after the graduation, we're going straight to the airport and we're back home. Everybody's gonna be chilling. All right. So I just want to let you guys know I might be a little toe up that Monday. I may be a little tore up that Monday, not from drinking, but from staying up late. Daddy can't do it like he used to. I don't know how many of y'all think y'all still some of these little young, what they call them, young whippersnappers out here. But I go to bed. I go to bed really early. I go to bed really early. And when I see young people who laugh at me or family members who are a little bit younger than me that might be, 35, 30 to 35 or some old shit, they laugh because I'm in the bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock. Now, in the bed don't mean in the bed, under this cup sleep. No, I'm winding down. I'm ready to, I'm taking my final little, final day of emails and all that, laying across my bed and just finishing up my evening. I'm chilling because the same ones that's laughing at me for going to bed or hitting the bedroom by 10:30, those are the same ones that are asleep at 4:30 in the morning when I'm up and at it. See what I'm saying? So they can laugh all they want. I've been laughed at the majority of my whole life. But why you up at night, I'm sleeping. And while you sleep, I'm up in the morning and I'm getting to what I'm supposed to be getting to. It's a huge difference. A lot of people can't make money at nighttime. I makes money in the dark in the mornings. You know what I'm saying? My day start early. I start my day at 4:30, 4:45 every morning. Okay. So they can laugh all they want. All right. I don't care. Yes, as I get older, I go to bed a little bit earlier. By 10:30, 11 o'clock, I'm in my bedroom, done. I'm not asleep yet, but I'm about to go to sleep. You understand? Now, it used to be a time where 11 o'clock was nothing for me. I'd stay up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and still be able to get up at 5. I can't do that anymore. Sorry. My body just don't work like that. But I'm also the guy that don't need an alarm clock. I haven't had an alarm clock in probably 15 to 20 years. My body is on a steady rotation. My body has an immune. It's just I just have a built-in alarm clock. Every morning I get up at the same time, no matter how late I stay up at night. And you know what's weird about this? Can I say one more thing about this? I don't want to bore anyone, but you're a regular routine person when you Monday through Friday go to sleep at a certain time, wake up every morning the same time, but it's a little bit different in the weekend. I could go to sleep on the weekend, like on a Friday night at midnight, and I wake up at 7 in the morning versus 5. It's just weird. Maybe it's just because it's a matter of the hours that you sleep. So if I go to bed, but I don't know, because if I go to bed at midnight on a Tuesday, I wake up at 4:30 no matter what. I don't know. It's weird. Somebody, one of y'all professional figure it out people, tell me what that is in my body. Tell me what that is. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Anthony Prosser, we got jokes today. AP said, that's because you wore high waters, Wyatt. You got me. You got me. If I didn't have such a great weekend, I wouldn't be open for the criticism or the jokes against Wyatt or whatever. You know what I mean? Sierra Brooks says, what's your morning routine? I generally, hey, listen, Sierra, I'm not one of those people like I used to be back in the day when I didn't want to wake up. I was undisciplined. Over 20 years ago, I was the type of guy that can hit the snooze button 5 times and be late for work, be late for what I got going on. I was very undisciplined 25 years ago. I don't know what it is, but hey, my brother, Mike Martin is in here. Everybody give Mike Martin a shout out. Mike, can you reach out to me, bro, if you still here about the Little League football thing that you're doing in the city of Cincinnati? Maybe we can bring it on the show and talk about it. But more importantly, I'm interested in getting involved in that. It's very, it's right up my alley. if you're interested, if you need some help or whatever, I don't want to be part of it like that. Like, I'm not coaching, bro. I'm not going to go out there and referee or anything like that. But he's bringing Little League football to the city of Cincinnati. Now, if I know someone's going to run an organization right, it's going to be someone like a Mike Martin. You're probably not going to have, and I would bet money if I can do this. Here I am about to criticize them betting on Little League football in the city of Cincinnati. I would bet my money that he's going to run a respectable organization, and it probably won't be any weed smoking bets or side bets, side dice game at his organized Pee Wee football situation. And I would love it, Mike, if you reach out to me. I seen it in my DM. I seen the flyer. I'll post it on my page after the show. And please, if you get a second, reach out to me, Mike, and let me know what it is you guys need to help. And I'm there. You have my word right here on the show. I didn't already put it on the record. Whatever you need, I got you. That's the type of stuff I like to do. That's what I like to be part of. Now, you know he about to send me a bill, right? You can't tell some people whatever you need. Shit. All right. I put my foot out there. I put my mouth out there. So hold me to it, Mike. Whatever I can do to help. You know it, brother. I'm right here. I'm right here. Now, y'all know Mike Martin been for the kids and been for the community for years. He gave back to Taft High School. I respect that, man. I really appreciate it. He says, we are a fundamental league. I will reach out. Thank you. Feel free to do so. I got you. Anything I can do to help the city of Cincinnati youth, I'm there for you. As long as I don't have to coach, as long as I don't have to referee or carry the yardsticks, I'll help with everything and anything else. I'm pretty good at the other stuff. I'm no good at the things I just mentioned. All right, so listen. How was your weekend? Mine was great. Okay. Easter. I don't know, and I don't look. Don't have me on here talking about Bible verses and the purpose of Easter and all of that. Please don't have me on here doing that. It's not going to be a good show. Let me tell you how I celebrated Easter as a child. My grandmother made me go to church, just like any other day. As I got older, my grandmother asked me, can I go to church with her for Easter? You know, I got older and I started doing my own thing. I had to work on Easter. So I would go to church with my grandmother on Easter when she requested or was asked me to do it. Outside of that, the only thing that I remember about Easter were my childhood, times. My grandmother would boil eggs at night. We would color the eggs. And for some odd dumbass reason, I didn't realize that the eggs that we were coloring the night before were the same eggs that I was going to wake up in the morning and go look for, because now I believe in my mind, this is the greatness of how parents are. They just have you. Parents can teach you anything they want you to know, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, or whatever. Those same eggs that I colored at night are the same eggs my grandmother convinced me that the Easter egg or the Easter bunny dropped off at the house, and now I'm supposed to go out and find them. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandmother was very good at that. So we would color the eggs at night. I would go to sleep. My grandmother would go out and hide the eggs in the apartment. This was in Laura Homes. Okay, so I was a child. Hide the eggs in Laura Homes, and then she would also have the eggs, those plastic eggs that you could pop, separate. And she would put like a quarter in one, $1. You get one with $1 in it, it was woohoo. You know what I'm saying? She put a few quarters and some change in some of them and hide those as well. I'd wake up and be looking for the Easter bunny and find a chocolate bunny and find the Easter egg basket. And then I would have to search the apartment for eggs. That's what I knew about Easter. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know. I don't want to say this and sound, I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm, not a God-fearing man or anything like that. But I've never carried much religion into some of these holidays. That's me personally. As a child, Easter bunny was Easter bunny. Wasn't much God talk into it. So when I hear some of these guys, like, I don't know, on podcasts, radios and stuff like that, and you got the professional brother And they say shit like, you got to stop thinking like these white folks want you to think. Well, bro, I ain't never really thought Easter Bunny and all that old shit was white people stuff anyway. It was us. It was neighborhood. Everybody came outside with their little Easter eggs, eating an egg or chocolate egg. Everybody was doing that shit. Nobody was thanking anybody other than the Easter Bunny. Might have had a quarter or two, and we just celebrated things that was put out there for us to not think about or just to have fun at doing what we were doing. Some of y'all make this shit way too complicated. Like, I can really tell those that didn't have really good childhoods. Sorry, somebody got to say it. You can always tell those that didn't have good childhoods because the small things that we thought were fun and were put in our life to be able to have fun. Some people try to erase that out of your mind, erase that, and make you feel like they're trying to manipulate you. Like, why don't you want me to have a good childhood? I mean, what's okay? Yours was shitty. You don't have to give me a bad childhood, nor do you have to give your child a bad childhood. Let the kid have fun. As a child, you get 10 years, and that's it. 10 years of fun. From when you come home from the hospital, that's when the clock starts. At 10 years old, everything pretty much stopped. You don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. You know the Easter Bunny don't exist. The damn tooth fairy was fake. You start learning at that double-digit age that all that shit was fake anyway. Why not let a child have fun? I just don't understand it. Santa Claus, well, I don't believe in Christmas. I don't believe in no white Santa Claus coming down a chimney. Hell, we live in the projects. He might have came out of the incinerator, but we don't even have no damn chimney. The song don't match. Okay, we know the song don't match to the story. Some of the shit you believe in your books don't make sense either, but you've been taught that that's real. Some of you can't get away from the imaginary childhood good great times, but you believe all of the other magical shit that come from books and the beliefs. And then when somebody don't want to believe it the way you believe it, now all of a sudden somebody's dumb, stupid, and all this old other shit. It's just amazing to me. Yo, let a child be a child. On that note, sorry. On that note, I don't know how I'm gonna lead into this one. Look like the Pope died. I don't mean that trying to be funny or nothing, but I'll be honest. I'm not like broke up or nothing. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I just got a question. Now, my wife and her family are Catholic. They went to Catholic schools growing up. And they know all the Catholic hymns and the songs and the formation, the things that you do, and they know all that shit, right? So I asked my wife just this morning, I was like, the Pope died. She said, oh, no, I didn't know. I said, yeah, the Pope died. Now, let me ask you something. Why do they get these old ass popes? Why don't they try to get them on that's like 40, 45 or something? They get these old ass popes and the Pope gonna die. He damn near dead. And I don't mean this disrespectfully. I mean, the Pope is damn near ready to be up out of here anyway. By that, you bringing them in at 85, 86, 87 years old. What the hell? I mean, I don't understand it. And maybe this might not be the right day for this, but maybe some of my religious family members here could help me with the question. Okay, I do have a question. The difference between Catholic religion and like us Christians that are from all these different churches. Like we got the Baptist church, the whatever, the what is that, Corinthians? And that's probably a verse. But all these different versions of being a Christian that run through the Black community, right? I had a question for some people that I still haven't got an answer from. And it's been years and I still haven't had an answer. Do you notice that in the Catholic, and I could be totally off on this, I'm probably wrong, and somebody gonna come in here and maybe you can correct me. This will be the day that you finally put Wyatt in his place because he don't know. I'm going into some deep water when I had this type of conversation. and I probably won't stay in this conversation long, but I do have a question. Why is the Catholic Church so damn much organized than Black churches? And here we go. Well, here you go looking down on Black. No, I'm telling you something that I know for a fact, because if you look at Black churches, they're individualized. They don't have one main pastor like the Pope, one main preacher, I guess there's a bishop, but he's not controlling the entire, Baptist churches. If you notice, that's how they get their money up. In Catholic churches, they have a priest that is the speaker of the church. And usually it's like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 of them in the same church. Most of our Black churches, we got one preacher, we got one man in charge. Sometimes it's a woman, it doesn't matter to me. And he's doing everything he can to keep his church doors open by doing dinners and doing church, functions and stuff. Like, it's a hustle. It's a hustle to keep that shit open. Like, what I'm saying? Like, it's a business to keep it open. It's a grind. Where the Catholic churches don't have that problem. They have a system in place. They have a support system in place. They have one main guy, and that's the Pope. All the rest of those priests are under him. Can you imagine that in the Black church? We probably, as a Black church, you probably have a little better success at keeping some of these churches open if there was a better system. And I hate to say this, but it sounds like the system consists of working together, somebody being in charge versus all these chiefs. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not like, I don't know how to say this. I'm not like plugging or trying to say that the Catholic religion is better. I'm saying that their structure, they buy property, they're invested in the community in different kind of ways. They're in banking. They're into way more things than our individual churches. How many people can connect 4 churches as one? How many Black churches are in Cincinnati that they can say they have 4 locations that run under the same, leadership? If you look at the Catholic churches in Cincinnati, they're all ran by the same leadership. Maybe I'm wrong. Sanika said, most organized religions have a head bishop or leader. Really? Would that be the pastor? Is that what you're saying? I mean, because that's my whole point, Tanika. I'm not putting anyone down. I'm saying in the Catholic Church, the Pope is the man. That's it. He's the head of the religion. He controls it all. They all answer. All the churches, the Catholic churches answer to this and to that, to the Vatican, right? That's their thing. Who is it for? Okay, I grew up in Inspirational Baptist Church. Who do they answer to? Where's their Vatican? Who's the head guy in charge outside of the board of the church and the pastor? If they need a new refrigerator or a new furnace, they got to go to the congregation to get it. They can't go to a big conglomerate like Catholic, like the what do they call? What is it in Catholic where they have the big church, the big guy, the Pope house and all that? You know what I'm saying? There's a name for that. Like I said, I'm not a religion guy. I don't really know how Catholics work, but I'm a structural guy. I could clearly see the difference between an organization. It's like big business versus small business. It's structured like that. I just thought it was kind of different. So I look at it like structural situations like that tend to work a little bit better, especially when you have a group of people and there might be more need than there is resources. And I can tell you right now, okay, the Vatican, okay. Jenny said African Methodist Apostle Zion is the same way, Wyatt. I grew up AME, Zion, and the churches reported to a bishop. Yeah, okay. Isn't that like a bishop that put those churches together? If I'm not mistaken, like when you call a person, that's why I said a bishop earlier. Like, don't bishops put those together and they start different churches and they're the head of those churches? He's not the head of the religion, though, is he? I mean, I know it might sound like an attack. I'm not attacking. I'm trying to understand. Catholics tend to have this thing with their organization is led by the Vatican. And you have these priests that run all these different churches. Now, I'm not trying, I don't want to say this and piss off my Christians or my Catholics. I'm not an advocate. I'm not an advocate of the Catholic religion because I, quite frankly, and I'm turning this conversation south. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it for many reasons. Some of the things that have come up over the years of allegations and proven cases where child abuse was going on. And quite frankly, I got to take a sip for this one of my tea. This might strike a few nerves, and I'm sorry if it does. I kind of have a problem when I see grown ass men who give up being a man. I'm sorry, fellas, y'all know what I'm talking about. Ladies might think I'm being harsh or whatever, but I find it weird that a man will give up relations with a woman. And this is not going to sound good, but when I say he give it up for God, maybe that's just how I need to say it. But I think it's kind of weird when you see men who have no relations with women. I just find that weird. I don't even know how far I can go with this. I'll be honest with y'all. I think it's weird. And that's why it's not a shock to a guy like me who thinks the way I think. It's not a shock to me when I see a child abuse, children being sexually abused in those type of churches. It don't shock me at all because I think it's weird behavior in the first place. I think it's hell. Do you know if you get sentenced to jail for a long enough period of time that they give you congregate visits? I mean, it's just not natural to not have, call it what you want to call it. I think everybody's grown here and y'all know what I'm talking about. And some people will say, well, Wyatt, that's just immature of you to think that a man can't survive with. Okay. Fine. I mean, that's fine for you. That's your opinion versus my opinion, to my opinion. And that's fine. I can live with you feeling a certain way about how I feel about something. I'm cool with that. I'm just telling you that it don't, like, if somebody told me that there was a sexual assault or a sexual abuse case going on against some young boys out of a Catholic church in Texas, I'm not the one that you're gonna shock with a subject like that. That's not gonna make me say what? Not the gods, people. That's not gonna get me. That's not gonna put me there. I just think it's not normal. And some of these guys are young guys when they get into the priesthood. You understand? And I just don't think it's, you know, I don't even think it's normal if a young man goes into the priesthood as a virgin, and never had any type of situation with a woman. And he just continues to go his whole life being a virgin and never experienced a woman, and he's a priest. And I still think that's kind of weird because I know how young men think, even the ones that ain't got none yet. You feel me? Because at a certain age, you gonna go years without getting any, but you think about it. As soon as you turn a certain age as a young man, fellas, I don't want to put us on the spot, but usually if it's younger than the age, then I'm telling you, there was something going on in your house. But right around the age of 12 and 13, that's when young men start to think about that thing. You know what I mean? We start sneaking and looking at shit. We start looking at the little magazines that have bras and panty sets and all that. I'm just speaking, ladies. I'm sorry. We tend to look at those things and be like, whoa, okay, wow, whoa. And then as we get a little bit older, we start wondering when we're going to be involved in these things. I know that young men think about those things well before they actually pursue it. Now, if you pursuing shit like that at 10 and under, something's probably going on in that crib. All right, you seeing too much as a child, you hearing too much as a child. That's just my opinion. But I always thought it was kind of weird that these grown ass men pretty much dedicate their life to the priesthood, and that don't really involve women. So when I hear the abuse or the sexual abuse of kids, uh, it gives me those type of vibes. And I can't put that on all of them. Okay, maybe there's something that people just have inside of them where they just not like me or like us, most men. But I don't know. I just don't think it's natural. And where there's unnatural behavior, I just think that it's not unusual to see some things outside of I don't think it's unusual to see things as criminal. Okay. Sorry, I might have lost a few people. Probably not what you woke up to hear about today. But talk about the Pope. I got to talk about the guys that's leading the churches. And I'm sorry to hear that the Pope died. It's not going to affect my life one way or the other. Did you see? I should have put it on the screen. I don't have a picture of it. Did you see the breakdown of like the 10 or 11? It might even be 12 different candidates for the next priest. I'm sorry, for the next Pope. Excuse me. These are priests now. And like 4 of them are black. 1 of them is Asian, and the rest of them are white men. I tell you what I'd like to see. I don't know why I want to see it. I just want to hear what people will say if it happened. I want to see a black priest, black Pope. I want to see that happen. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to see who going to say what. I just for the hell of it, because I don't care who the Pope is. They going to do what they do over there. The church going to run the way it's going to run and do what it do, baby. But I just would love to see, just for the hell of it, just for the kicks and the tricks, I'd love to see what would happen if one of those guys that was nominated, Scott Bain said they're called cardinals. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, Scott. Really, I do. Makes sense. I've heard that term before. But I love to see one of them cardinals become the Pope. And I hope to see it be a black one. I would love to see the reaction. Love to hear what people would say if that actually happens. All right. All right. So listen, how was your holiday? How was your Easter? For those that don't celebrate Easter, that's cool. Please, I don't have a problem with people's opinion about Easter and this and this and that. But did you spend it with your family? Because I know as us, we always use holidays. We didn't take them so literal. We didn't take holidays literally. It was like a day to barbecue. 4th of July, man. Ain't nobody thinking about what the real meaning of 4th of July. That was family day. Put some ribs on the grill, put Wiedemann beer on the. I didn't sing that. Play cards and eat potato salad with your family. So that's what we did over the weekend. We had a dinner Sunday, yesterday actually. My wife did this salad, like a salad. We had a salad dinner, like a Caesar salad in the middle with a bunch of sides all around it. So you can add your tilapia, your whatever type of fish, whatever chicken, whatever steak or whatever you wanted. The salad was in the middle, and you would just make your salad the way you wanted to make your salad. I thought that was pretty cool because the Wyatt family, we're on a diet right now. All of us are on a diet. We're trying to lose a couple pounds, all of us. So we thought we would do an Easter dinner, and it was going to be a salad and with a bunch of sides on the, the things that we want to put inside of it, all on the side of the solid. It was pretty damn good. It was pretty good. Quick thing, Cincinnati note. Couple things of Cincinnati. Y'all gonna really think I'm on one today. I'll start with the first one that might be funny to some of y'all. But I heard while over the weekend that Charleston White was in Cincinnati, Ohio. Am I hearing that wrong? Y'all had Charleston White up in Cincinnati? Really? For those that don't know who Charleston White is, he is a guy who comes on the internet and he says a lot of stuff. Okay, he says a lot of stuff primarily about the black community. He say a lot about rap music. He say a lot about gangsters. He try to hold people accountable for certain things. He talk about people, kids. He say a lot. He talk about the black community primarily, okay? And I heard that he was in the city of Cincinnati over the weekend and got into an altercation. Matter of fact, not only did I hear it, I seen a video. Now, I'm not going to play the video that I seen because number one, I'm not sure that it's actually in Cincinnati. Okay, this could have been some fight that he got into somewhere else because he's one of them dudes that people really want to. You can become famous if you put hands on Charleston White, and it could go viral. All right, but what I would like to say to Charleston White is this, brother. I agree with a lot of what you say. I disagree with some of what you say. But I need to tell you something about my city called Cincinnati. If he watches this, and I know some people that know him, they don't know him and grew up with him. They just worked with him, brought him to the city of Charlotte. And I know Michael Williams Sr. and Jr. and them guys. I'm cool with them. And they always said, they said, hey, if you want to get him on the show, we can make it happen and blah, blah, blah. And I ain't really ready for all. I don't really like to do stuff like that. But I might consider it one day. Because he's been to Cincinnati, from my understanding, over the weekend. And I might have to be the person to talk to him who's from Cincinnati and let him know Cincinnati is not to be played with, bro. There are a lot of little stars, influencers, people like that who have gone to Cincinnati and lost some people, lost friends. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about, like T.I. There's been people that went to the city of Cincinnati to party and to do their shows. I think he needs to know, or I don't know if he didn't get the memo, but Cincinnati ain't to be with when it comes to shit like that. There's always some dude that's going to try to make a name for himself. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, that might consist of murder. There's examples of people, T.I. Some people could probably put some other names in the, remember when Tamaya Braxton came and was talking crazy and got hands put on her at the airport? I don't know if y'all knew about that. But in the industry, there's some people that's like, man, I ain't going to Cincinnati, bro. They crazy. Just being honest with you. So, if he was here, I don't know where he was. Some people saying Jabbar says he was. Yeah, he was. Where was he at? Did anybody know about it? He the type of dude that you can't really post that he's coming because he got gang members and all type of shit. They got numbers on his back. So he has to be careful how he moves. So who knew that he was going to Cincinnati? Let me say something. I wish I was in the city of Cincinnati for the weekend. And the reason why I wish I was home, because I call it home, the reason why I wish I was home over the weekend for a couple of different reasons. Both of them pertaining to celebrities. And y'all might not like what I'm going to say about the other person because I actually like the other person. I really do. I like this person well more than I like what's his name? Charleston White. Charleston White is just somebody that I see on the internet and blah blah blah. He's just a voice. The other person is Cat Williams. Now I rock with Cat, and I've been honest with you to say he's probably one of my favorite current comedians. But Cat ain't put a project out in a while that I really was like, whoa, this is powerful. This is strong. But what I like about him is his team. I love that he got Red with him. I love that he has Monique with him. These are people that, I believe in him. I believe that he's really about trying to empower his people and put us in positions to win. I believe all of that. That's what I rock with him. But I am going to say what I got to say about Cat Williams. He hasn't put out something strong that I like in a minute. But that don't mean I don't like him. I'll be honest with you. I love Cat Williams in movies more than I do in stand-up. Now, if he heard that, he'd probably cuss me out and say, little dude, you ain't nobody. This is my personal opinion about Cat Williams. I think he's a very good actor. Okay. And I think he serves better in movies. Who am I? I'm just a fan with an opinion. I think he does a really good job in movies. The stand-up, I'm getting a little like lost in some of the content, the jokes. I'm not there all the way. Okay. But I do have a question for my family. And if you're just getting here, this ain't gonna sound good because it's gonna sound like I'm, saying something bad about my guy. Cat Williams came to Cincinnati a few times. He's been to Cincinnati a few times, and he's known for being from Cincinnati, Avondale. My question to you is, because you were born here, does that make you from here? I know that, like if you were born in Cincinnati, does that make you from Cincinnati? Or do you have to spend time in the city? Like if I was born in San Diego and moved to Cincinnati at the age of 1, am I really from San Diego? But if I grew up in San Diego, isn't San Diego kind of like, or if I grew up in Cincinnati, wouldn't Cincinnati kind of like be my home? I mean, I don't know how to say this, but I'm kind of like, damn, bro, you was born in Cincinnati, but you was only here for a couple years as a child. Like as a kid, you moved to Dayton. And from Dayton, you moved off to wherever else you was going. Y'all put a whole street in his name. And I'm trying to figure out why. I know that sounds bad. It sounds like I'm attacking my man because I actually rock with him. But I do have to ask this question. Why do you don't have a Regina King street or avenue? Regina King has paved, she's a trailblazer. She's an unbelievable actress, producer, but we don't bring Regina King to the city of Cincinnati. And I just don't understand how you give Cat Williams a street before you give Regina King a street. Cat Williams ain't spent no time in Cincinnati, and Cat Williams ain't done nothing for Cincinnati. I guess I'm gonna be the one who gonna say it. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean it like, what's the mission here? Why y'all? What's the point in doing that? What is who is this benefiting? Now y'all done did some streets here lately in Cincinnati for some people that I really rock with and I respect, and I'm like, yeah, these are people that actually did something for the community. Mike Stafford has a street named after him in the Fay Apartments. But Mike Stafford picked kids up in the morning, fed them, dropped them off at home, and was a father figure to hundreds of kids in the city of Cincinnati. He was a boxing coach, kept kids off the street, became part of a world championship team, became an influence in people's lives, gave his sweat and tears and all that to the city of Cincinnati. Now that's someone that truly deserves an avenue, a street, a drive. I'm gonna be honest with you and tell you another person. Lincoln Ware. Lincoln Ware has been on the radio in the city of Cincinnati for 50 plus years. He's been an influencer. He's helped people in certain ways that I wish I could. Somebody called this show, I don't have no resource to tell you where to go talk to such and such who can pay that such and such bill down at city council. I ain't got that type of clout. Lincoln Ware been a voice of the city for years. Some of the shit he say be on point, some don't. But the fact that you can last in a space for 50 years and be respected don't bother me at all. That you just got a street named after you. That don't bother me at all. It's well deserved. Let's think of someone else. Larry Donald, just this week up in Cincinnati, got a street named after him. That don't bother me at all. Larry Donald represented the city of Cincinnati as a world champion, heavyweight champion. You understand what I'm saying? He worked in the gyms and gave his time and his efforts to the city of Cincinnati's youth. That's giving back. But somebody explain to me in the comment section, just tell me what Cat Williams do for the city of Cincinnati. What did he do? How does he deserve a street in your city? Now, I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying that the other people that I've just mentioned have been relevant, have given back, and have done some things in the city for the kids, even some adults. I mean, what do you have to do to get a street named after you? Look, if I had $50 in my pocket and it was to go see Cat Williams or Bill Bellamy, one or two, the same week in the city of Cincinnati, or if they came here in St. Pete, if I could go see either one of them and I had to give one of those artists or one of those stand-up guys my $50, who would it be? It would be Cat Williams all day long. I'm not saying that he's not good at his work. I'm not trying to hate on him at all. Okay? All I'm saying is, what are the qualifications to have a street named after you? Just because you're a celebrity, I don't think that's enough. And because you were, okay, I tell you what we should do. We got a new stadium or a stadium that might be built or whatever. You know what y'all should do? Y'all should name, like you have the Pete Rose Avenue down there. You see how Pete gave back to the city, big star from city, Mr. Baseball, the hit king, but yet he was always involved in the Boys and Girls Club. That's how you get a street named after you. Not only are you great at your sport, but you give back to your city, right? But I tell you what we do, just based on the Cat Williams standards, and I don't mean to be, like I said, I'm not trying to hate on him, but I just want to give you another piece of like what it equates to. What's the quarterback who just left Pittsburgh, who was out in Seattle? Sierra's husband. What's his name? Russell Wilson? Well, we need a Russell Wilson Avenue because he's been in the NFL and he was born in Children's Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio. Where are we going to put that street at up in Cincinnati? He's been in the NFL over 10 years now. He's been productive. He's been to the Super Bowl. He was born in Cincinnati at Children's Hospital. Let's get a Russell Wilson street. Nah, we need a Dave Parker Street. Is there a Dave Parker Street yet? Is there a Dave Parker Street? I need a Dave Parker Avenue or a Dave Parker Parkway. That would be better. Give me Dave Parker Parkway. That's what I need. Dave Parker gave back to the Boys and Girls Club as a child. He's a big part of MLB baseball, and he is a Hall of Famer. No, where's that Russell Wilson? Where we gonna put Russell Wilson Avenue? He's from Cincinnati. He was born in Children's Hospital. Moved off. But before y'all think I'm taking it all out of pocket or being out of pocket for this, somebody tell me what Cat Williams did to get a street named after him in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. And for the record, well, just because I disagree with the street naming, don't mean that I don't like Cat Williams. I think he's a great guy at what he does. I think that he is funny. I think that he's good at business when it comes down to supporting the people that look like him, look like us. I support everything that he does. That, and some of y'all might think that that's good enough to have a street in Cincinnati. Maybe that's your criteria. Maybe that's your standard. But that's not what I think a person who has a street named after him. I don't think that's the qualifications. I think that you should be in that city and you should be, giving back. Vicky Hamilton says Dave Parker Way in Cummingsville. Good. I didn't know that. Dave Parker was one of my favorite baseball players growing up. That's why I use Dave Parker as an example, because Dave Parker gave back. Dave Parker used to come to the Boys and Girls Club. Dave Parker would have a day game down at the Riverfront Stadium when he was in town. Like when he played for Pittsburgh, he did this several times. He would have a day game in Cincinnati when he played with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he would go down to the Boys Club on Logan Street after the game. He would show up there, unannounced, just come there to kick it, play foosball, ping pong, just kick it, shoot basketball, all that with the kids. Didn't even know he was coming. It didn't just happen one time. People could just show up. Jamar Chase might show up at the Boys and Girls Club one time. But I'm just saying, Dave Parker made it his business to engage with the kids when he came home. And then when he signed with the Reds, he always did stuff for the community. Dave Parker was the truth when it came down to the kids. He would drive that little maroon Porsche his, because he lived in Matt Adams. I don't know if y'all know that, but he lived in Matt Adams. So the Boys and Girls Club was right down the hill from where he lived. And he would just come down there, shoot baskets, and play with the kid. He was cool. Just that dude. Didn't act like a celebrity or nothing. He would come down, he would push you. He would treat you like the big brother. You know what I'm saying? Push you, nudge you and all that old stuff. Shut up crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. He'd come out to the baseball practices. That's when Deborah Say was running the boys, and she was running the athletic department down there. I don't know if she was cool with him or not, but they became cool after he started showing up. And I mean, she would tell us, Dave coming over to the field, he gonna hit some balls. Dave who? Dave Parker show up. Damn. Good guy. He was a really good guy. Let me go to the phone lines before I get started. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. I'm sorry. Who am I talking to? That's how I answer my phone. That's how I answer my phone at the office. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Wyatt?
Twin, what's going on, man? Hey, did you just have a birthday?
Yes, Saturday.
Happy belated birthday. I seen you and your brother in a picture on Facebook. I believe it was Facebook. And y'all had on them blue suits, and one of y'all had on my favorite shoes, bro. We got to market that. We got to get that in the stores. What's good with you, twin? What's on your mind? Happy belated birthday to you, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. With that, black congregation, there's leaders, bishops, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got people of Church of God in Christ. You got a head bishop there, Pentecostal, Baptist. So it's leaders. They people report to.
Okay.
And everything. Like say you're a bishop here, Pentecostal.
Okay.
You got like 2 or 3 churches in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Then you got one in like Columbus or Cleveland. You oversee all those,
but is a bishop the bishop like a pope? Is the bishop like a pope?
No, pope is a pope. That's a Catholic thing. But a bishop,
right.
he oversees. A bishop oversees that organization.
I understand.
Whether you're a bishop, a Baptist preacher, they got their own Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal, Methodist, whatever it goes. It's different, so they report to them.
Okay, let me ask.
So I forgot who to say. I think I want to say Bishop. What's her name? Clarence Clark Shields' husband. I think he's a bishop.
Okay.
Like in the Midwest.
So now let me ask you. Does a bishop run? Okay, give me a religion that a bishop has the church has control of the church. What's the what's the type of religion? Like you got Baptist, you got
Pentecostals. That's
Pentecostal,
Pentecostal. Pentecostal
Pen-
assemblies of the world.
Pentecostal. Okay, so they run by a bishop.
They're run by, I think the head bishop right now, I want to say is Bishop, what's his name? Karen Clark, husband. I forget his name off
I
rip.
couldn't tell you, brother. I wouldn't know. But now he's in
Yeah,
control of
he's
all
the
of the
deciding
churches.
bishop over the Pentecostal. Then you go out
Wait a minute,
west.
hold on. I got to stay there for a second so I'll understand. So he's in charge of all the Pentecostal churches in the nation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's set up like the Pope.
Yeah, and then you go out,
Okay.
and then I want to say it was G. Patterson out of Memphis, who had Church of God in Christ.
Okay.
And I think Bishop Blake out west, he's the presiding bishop over there if he ain't stepped down and retired. But it was Paul Warren at first. But I think
Okay.
if Bishop Blake did step down and retires, passed on to somebody else out of Church of God
So how
in
many
Christ.
churches is this
Now
person in charge of? I'm just curious. Like, what would you think the count would be?
of what? Bishop?
Like, how many churches this person that you're talking about, the Pentecostal
Pentecostal?
bishop?
Man, I don't know. It's a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a lot.
Okay. All right. I was just
And
curious.
then, but you got soldiers like people under him.
Okay.
Like you voted in
No,
as
okay.
a top.
Okay, I understand. But now let me ask you, is he okay, Pentecostal, is that universal? I mean, is that everywhere? Is it across the country,
Yeah.
across the world?
Yeah.
So is he in charge of the churches, the Pentecostal churches in
Africa or somewhere?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. So he's not quite like the Pope.
No, he's not.
But
like
I just
the
asked you
Pope.
if he was like the Pope. You said that's like the Pope.
I mean, it's as a top leader of the bishop.
No,
I don't
he
think
has an area.
I can't say about in not Africa or whatever because they religions over there is different.
Is
They go.
is Catholic Church in Europe different than the Catholic Church in America?
I believe so.
No, I don't think so. I think they practice the same religion. I think Catholics practice the same religion of in Europe as they do in America. That's why the Pope is in charge of both churches. The Pope is in charge of all Catholic churches.
Well, to a certain extent, they mix it up, man. Just because they Catholic over there, I'm not teaching the same Catholic movement as I'm teaching over here. That's how we all screwed up and messed up as religion. Because you can preach that Baptist stuff, but I'm teaching holy, straight holy. But you're teaching about, oh, this not this. I'm teaching out of New Testament, but he might be still preaching out the Old. It's different. Kind of like the Holy Quran is not really based on my teaching what I'm teaching. That's why there's different religions in the world like that. And that's how we screwed up. We can't never come together as one. I don't care what religion you are. You will never come together because we know it's just like, conflict with politicians. Why my opinion just can't be my opinion?
Right.
Why I just can't is be a conflict right like that? It because like my religion is better than you, but at the end of the day, we still serving under only one God. At the end of the day, it's only one God.
No, I agree with all of that. I agree with what you just said.
That's why we would never come together. I just can't because I've been in the Catholic Church and I was there for 20 minutes and I got up because I thought I was at a dark place funeral home because the way they were singing and Mother Mary Virgin and all that. Man, let me get up out of here. I thought it was a blood sacrifice or something going on. He was hitting that oil and smoke coming from that little thing. I'm like, no, I ain't with this. I thought they was practicing witchcraft.
Oh, okay.
When he was doing that. That was my first time visiting. I just wanted to see how it is. I'm like, nah, I can't do this.
Okay, I know what you're saying. I was just curious because I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try to make it. I'm not trying to prove one point to the other. I'm just curious. Like, I know the Pope he passed today or yesterday. I just know that he controls Christianity, the Catholic Church worldwide. And I was just wondering who was the worldwide leader of the Black church. See what I'm saying? And I know that we have so many churches in our communities.
There's a leader in the Black. There's a leader, like I was just describing. Like you got his name Bishop Shears. That's his name. You got leaders of the bishop. I mean, of the Pentecost. You got leader of Church of God in Christ Baptist. So there's somebody. Just like you're a boss, and you got people under you. Somebody got to answer to get to Wyatt. or whatever. You know, you got a business going on.
No,
Somebody,
I get it. Chain of command. I get that. I understand
yeah,
it. I was just
yeah,
wondering, what
yeah.
religion was just as powerful? What religion leader is just as powerful as the Pope in other religions? You see what I'm saying? That's all. I'm not
It's
trying to
just,
prove one
I
point.
know, I understand what you're saying. Just too much conflict, man. We
Okay.
will never get to the one. In
Okay.
order to get to the one, you got to understand the logic and the reality of it. Well, there's always going to be a conflict on anything. There's always going to be jealousy. Somebody going to come short.
Okay.
Hey, man, you gave $50 more than me. Where my 50? Well, you didn't do a good job. So
Okay.
there's always going to be a conflict on it. We will never get to the one.
Okay. Now let me ask you something, man. Can we switch gears just a little bit? Because I talked a little bit. I don't really know.
Go ahead, man.
That's not my field. That's not my wheelhouse, to be honest with you.
I know,
Um,
I know.
what do you think about? Did you hear that Charleston White was up in Cincinnati? Did you hear about that?
Yes, I heard he got jumped and all that.
Okay, I didn't
He was at
see.
Rosemary Baby for the kids. I
Okay,
don't know. I heard of the
I
group
respect that.
Rosemary.
No, I respect that because that's what he talked about is bettering, conditions of people and calling out accountability of certain situations and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
respect that. I know about that organization.
yeah.
Now, did you hear that you say you heard that he got jumped? I
I
seen a
heard.
video.
I didn't see the videos, and I didn't know if it was an accurate video that I saw, so I can't, speculate on it because I seen the video, but I don't know was that really him in Cincinnati? Because
Okay,
Twin hit the streets and everything,
okay.
and I ride around. I know areas in Cincinnati. I'm like, that looks familiar. That's like Zion Street, or that looks like Spring Grove. You would know where you at. Like, yeah, that's my city. That's
Yeah, I
Cincinnati.
heard that he was in the city of Cincinnati. Matter of fact, I seen
Yeah,
a video maybe Thursday or Friday of last week where it showed
yeah,
him at the airport, and he said he was on his way to Cincinnati, and you can hear the
yeah. He was
announcers,
here.
the announcer
Yeah,
say flight to Cincinnati now boarding or blah blah blah. But
yeah,
my thing is, I didn't see any post, I didn't see any information about
yeah. He
him
was
being in
here.
Cincinnati.
It was on a post, and then he took a picture. It looked like he was on Vine when he took it,
Okay,
or downtown, but he was in Cincinnati.
okay.
He posted because he said I'm here, and then he got out with the same outfit and everything on, and he took a picture with a couple of guys from Cincinnati. So he was here, and I heard he got jumped, but I don't know. I true when I seen the video, I'm like, is that really Cincinnati? And I don't know, man. But I doubt if
Well,
he get.
I,
He might have got
I
jumped, but he might not.
let me say, I seen a video of him getting into an altercation, but I didn't see a
Yeah,
video of him getting jumped. You see what I'm saying?
right,
I
right.
didn't never even heard that he got jumped. I seen a video of him being in an altercation with one dude,
Yeah,
but I didn't
yeah.
see him get jumped in that. I didn't see that.
And you like you said though, even though people feel like Cincinnati and stuff, I know a lot of guys that seem like they saw, but niggas in Cincinnati ain't gonna let you come in there and downplay their city like that. You can talk some other language, but when you come in there, oh, F the Bengals, oh, you niggas A1 ain't nothing. Oh, come on, fam, you ain't
Nah,
even from
you
here.
don't want to do
So
that.
I was just, huh?
I said they don't really want to do that. Cincinnati's not really the
Right, that's
place
what I'm
that you
saying.
should
Like I
do that.
come there, red shirt. You don't know me. I'm from Chicago. They go, man, get your goof ass on back
Well,
to the
twin,
city.
we seen that. We've seen a video of all of that. We
Yeah,
seen a dude walking
yeah.
through the city of Cincinnati up in Winton Terrace a few years ago.
Yeah, I know him. I know him. And I said, man, what you want? And I told he from Chicago. And I told him, say, man, you talking that old Hebrew Israelite, man, people ain't for that and you in the wind terrace too, and you by yourself, man, them young boys jumped. And when I came back, why he was leaking on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Man, I can't believe this. You can't believe what? Them young boys weren't going for that revolutionary change, that shit you
well,
talking about.
now, twin, I gotta be honest. I heard he was from
What?
Chicago because he said he was from Chicago, but not one time did I ever hear him talking religion. I'm not suggesting that you're
Man,
lying. Wait a
he
minute,
was talking. He
let me
was
finish.
talking and talking about so y'all need to put the guns down and all that. Come
Okay,
on,
yeah,
man.
he was
Ain't nobody
saying
trying
that.
to hear that.
He was saying that, but he was also calling people out like y'all ain't gonna do
I,
shit.
I know that, and
You can't do
that's
that.
what gave people kept giving them pass, and I was like, man,
Yeah,
what you
they
on,
did.
fam? And stuff, niggas think they soft and all that. They think I'm soft and all that. I said, okay.
No,
When I
nobody.
came back, he was leaking.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, but you just
but I gave him some warning well before it
that's
actually
not. Hey,
happened.
why? That's not his. That's his third time doing that. Why? That wasn't his first rodeo. Dude been doing that, and they had to check that chin.
I
And a
understand,
young boy got up, a little 22-year-old.
and
He
they
like
didn't
my age.
jump him. They did not jump him. So he can't go
No,
back saying the city is, went and tears jumped me. No, bro. It was heads
no,
up.
no.
A little young dude. Well, he wasn't even a young dude, but he's young to
No,
me.
he was yeah, Lil D was 22.
That's who. Okay, I don't.
Lil D, the dude that was fighting, yeah, he was like 22.
Yeah, I don't
And he
call
had like
names
3 or
out.
4 fights out there.
Yeah, I don't call. You know better than that. You know better than to call out somebody's name
Man, he ain't even that young boy, man. He in jail right now.
Oh, okay,
So what?
Okay.
On some Rick shit.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying,
man.
be careful what you say.
Yeah, but
I don't want to be
man.
called into a court of law saying, did I hear something or did I erase something? I don't want to be called in because we had somebody that actually knew someone that, did a felonious assault on someone.
No, man. Well, dude, Rick, he get what he deserved. They're robbing and all that. Think ain't nobody gonna backfire on your ass?
Yeah.
Come
all right.
on,
So
man.
now here's the other question, Twin, and then we'll move on to the next caller. But let me ask you a question. Did you hear that Cat Williams was in the city of Cincinnati?
Yeah, I seen a video on what's his name? Stefan. I seen a video on there, and I seen Tommy Davidson from Living Color. He was at the Country Meat Market.
Okay, did they do a show in the city of Cincinnati this weekend or something?
They did a show at the U.S. Bank Arena.
Okay, all right.
And
now it
Mark
makes
Curry,
sense.
Monique, and all that.
Yeah, now it makes sense because I've heard that tour that was out, and to have Monique and all of them in town,
like you said earlier, though. But you born and raised here 3 years and all that, but you claim date. You ain't never get back to the community. I'm like you. Why we putting a street sign up for you? Where's ain't Ryan Isley and what else? Ryan Isley, the Isley brothers, and who else from Cincinnati?
Oh yeah, Ron Isley and them guys. Yeah, they're from Lincoln Heights, and
Ohio players and all that. Where they street sign?
They might have one. They may have.
They got a walk of fame, maybe, but they ain't got no street sign. I ain't never seen no Ozzy Brothers street sign.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying they may have one. I don't know. It might be in Lincoln Heights. The Isley Brothers are.
It's not in Lincoln Heights,
bro. They've done some things for the Isley Brothers.
It's not.
I can't.
It's not in Lincoln Heights.
Twin, I'm saying what I don't know if they have a street. I don't want to sit here and say, no, they don't have a street, and I'm not sure. So I got to let you know, I'm not quite sure, but I know they've done some things for the Isley Brothers in Lincoln Heights, in the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've done a street for them, though.
They honored a day for them 2 years ago at one of them Baptist church, that Woodline Record Center for them. It was the Isley Brothers Day, I remember. 2 years ago, they honored them. And I think they came down here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, I think, of course, Ron Isley. Now, once again, I got to say, that's one of my old school. I love him. I love Mr. Big. Okay. But I don't know what Mr. Big and them have done for the city of Cincinnati. So a street may not be suitable for them because of the get back. But if you look at what the criterias are, if you give Cat Williams one, how can you not give Mr. Big one? I mean, the Isley Brothers. How could you not do one for them? They've had a 60-year run, 50-year run in the music industry, being from Lincoln Heights, from Zone 15.
Did they get George Floyd a street name after him, or just a statue?
I don't know. I know he had a statue. I don't know if anybody ever named a street after him, but I mean, I know he had a statue. But that all being said, so I'm assuming that you're not with the name of the street after Cat Williams.
Hell to the no, not if he ain't putting no work for the city.
Right. And I'm just trying to ask anybody else that calls in, I'm going to ask them the same question. I just think that it's kind of like, at least the radio guy, Mr. Lincoln Ware, he's been in the city and he's been speaking for 50 years. It's hard to do that. Okay. It's hard to be in a stationary place and stay relevant that long. Yeah. And he's giving back to the community one way or the other. All right. And I believe that that's a warrant. It's warranted to do a street after that, a person like that. Pete Rose, hit king in Major League Baseball, Hall of Famer. He should be in the Hall of Fame. That's what they say. He is representative of Cincinnati. He was a West High grad. He played in Cincinnati. He was a Cincinnati guy. He gave back to the city. Dave Parker. I've just learned that they do have a Dave Parker way or something of that nature. That's well deserved. These guys, these guys deserve that. They deserve that. They put the time and the work in.
Put work in for the many years. This last subject, man.
Well,
I party good. You know, a couple of my folks came from the land to Cincinnati and stuff and party with me. I had a good time, White. And you know, as the time was going up, getting late, I had told Link I went down on the square, right? I
Okay.
mean on the banks.
Okay.
So I go up steps after taking a couple of flicks and everything, man, with my brother and sister. So I see the yellow tape, man. And I'm thinking, oh, this part.
Okay, twin, you're breaking up a little bit.
I'm sorry, the man blown. So I went up the steps and saw the yellow tape, and I just thought, you know, one part was blocked out, but I look at the whole surrounding area and everything, a whole strip blocked out, and it was somebody got shot. But my thing is this, why when you talked about it Friday, you had brought it up Thursday about the banks and the kids and all that,
Mhm.
and that's what happened Saturday.
Yeah.
So my thing is this, why I think, to be honest, I hate to say it, they need to go back to the old ways, man.
What's the old ways, bro?
Yeah, man, back then, man, I don't know if they did. They might have did it since then. You know, the big boys used to jump out on us, right? The tech.
Mm-hmm.
And then they used to jump out on us, and they tell you one time, get off their block while you're on that corner, right? Or stand in front of the stove. And they tell you one time they got to come back. They lock you up. They go do something to you. And that's what I feel. They need to have detectives on there because them police ain't nothing. They just stand there. But let Taylor Swift or somebody else that come to the city is have security like they the president of somebody. And they stand on it and everything, put the police out there. But when it come to us and all that, it's a problem. Oh, your kids doing this. If your kids do, why you won't holler at the parents like you say? Or it's always a monkey see, monkey do situation. And then I was telling him, Goofy Ray, whatever the one of the callers, he says a taxpayer and all that. Them kids, 15, 16-year old, they probably paying taxes too because they probably got a job.
Okay, what that
So
mean?
I shouldn't feel, I'm a taxpayer too. I shouldn't feel like I shouldn't be wanted somewhere where I want to go and just have a drink or look at the football game without coming out getting shot. I shouldn't feel that way. And like he said, sooner or later, the business owners go march their ass up there to council and like, hey, what's going on? Or city hall to that mayor. Because this got to stop, man. People shouldn't have to come to tours or you stay in your own city, be afraid to go down there just to have fun, man. Ride a bike or take your daughter or son down there to the water park and take pictures or something like that. It shouldn't be that way. Y'all need to clean this up and y'all just sit back and talk about other issues when you got a whole strong issue that people as they business probably go down because of situation and it's the city's fault not plunging into like, man, we got to stop, put some drain on this situation, man. It's been clogged up too long and you talking about your murder rates, your crime down how? When you had shootings in the last 2-3 weeks. Come on, man. Then you got to ignore the situation about these guns and you got dude going to the bathroom and 7-year-old shoot the 5. Come on, man.
Right.
It don't make no sense, man.
I think one of the problems that I have with what
What
I
would
heard.
if you was in that position, say this as a city mayor or police or head chief or something down the administration, what was your thoughts and input on it will be?
Say that again.
If you was a city like a mayor or a chief or anything, what would your input be about
What
a
would I
change
do?
of how we will do this and handle it? That your people probably got business down there. While my people, somebody else, people in the chat might got business to stop this madness that been going on.
Okay, the first thing that I would do is get the kids out of the way. Because the kids, I mean, I'm not suggesting that they're the biggest, like they're not the only problem on the banks. Okay. Where there's alcohol, you're going to have adults and young adults that are of age to drink alcohol. You're always going to have fights and little disagreements and things of that nature. But when it comes down to the teenagers and the people that really shouldn't be down there at a certain time, if I'm city council, if I'm the mayor, the first thing that I do is I find a way to get those kids from a place that they shouldn't be. And I think it's a weak argument. And this is just my opinion. I think it's a weak argument that we don't have enough manpower to keep kids to enforce a curfew. That's just like saying we don't have enough manpower to stop bank robberies. So if 100 people go rob a bank at the same time, we're just going to ignore it because we don't have the manpower to get that in order. that doesn't sound like proper policing. It doesn't sound like a real strong organization when you say you don't have the manpower to enforce something. You can make it happen. You can get it done. You might not catch everybody all at one time, but you use the manpower that you have to eliminate what you're at that time, what you're trying to do. Sometimes you catch one person and it might make 10 people go away. So you might not need 10 officers to make 100 arrests. You might only need 5 officers to make 10 arrests, and that might clear out a certain area. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in favor of arresting anyone, like throwing them in jail. I think you catch these kids and you leave it up for the parents to come pick them up, and see that adds strain to the parent. And when you start making parents go out of their way to be responsible for their own kids, maybe something at home will be done different. Because twin, I'm gonna tell you, being a kid myself, my mom didn't know what I was doing all the time. Sometimes I told her I was going over somebody else's house, and I know they mama wasn't keeping up with us. I know his mama wasn't even paying attention what time we come home at night. So that's the house I'm gonna spend the night on this weekend, because we gonna rip and run the streets. My mama wouldn't let me stay out till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I would go over a friend's house. Now, if my mom let me go over that friend house and the police call my mom to come pick me up down at 2020, my mom gonna now say, well, I thought you was over such and such house, and how y'all gonna stay out that late? Now my mom not gonna let me go over that person's house, because my mom is starting to find out that I'm ripping and running these streets. She may not have even known. And there's a lot of kids out on them streets. You can't tell, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all know I'm heavy on parents. You can't tell me that every parent of those children know exactly that their kid is out there acting crazy or part of some crazy shit or videotaping a fight. You can't tell me every parent know, because everybody got a friend. Everybody on here, if I don't know, I shouldn't say, majority of everyone on here had some friend in your life was the wild friend. You know, you can go spend the night over their house and y'all was gonna smoke, drink, hang out, go talk to boys, stay on the phone all night, do the shit that you couldn't do at home. You could always go to somebody else's house and do that, and your mama didn't know that that was going on. And I think that's the same thing that's happening in these streets. And so I think it's a disservice that the police won't step up and enforce the curfew, because you might affect a kid's life that needs you to step in their life. And what I mean by that is one of these officers might call the parent who just didn't know, because everybody want to say it's a kid problem, and I think it's a parenting problem. But I'm gonna give some parents the benefit of the doubt, because my mom was one of them parents that didn't know that I might have been out at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's true. They probably don't know where you at, because like you said, you going on Ray Ray and them house, and Ray Ray and them act the donkey over there.
Right.
And I know I can get away with Ray Ray family, because they don't care and everything. And now that my mom thought you said you was going over Nook Nook house, but how you end up on Ray Ray house? And now you at 2020.
Well, you already know your ass in trouble when you going over somebody's house named Nook Nook and them doing some shit. You already know that. I wouldn't have been able to tell my mom I'm going over Nook Nook and them house. Shit wasn't gonna happen. She'd be like, hey, well, you know. And in today's world, here's the thing, bro. There's no excuse, because look, I have 2 young ladies in my life I love to death. They my daughters, okay? And of course, I love my wife. But on my daughter's phone, they have locations on our cell phones. All right. And what I mean by that is this: I could pick my phone up and know the location of where my daughter is in Nashville at any time. So parents that are paying these phone bills for their kids and giving them all these nice luxurious ass gifts, and you know, they have a way of tracking where their kids are if they really want to. And that's that location on their cell phone. So there's really no excuse, because even if you go over Nook Nook house and spend the night, and you know, if you just for the hell of it as a parent want to know if your kid is where they should be over Nook Nook house at 2 o'clock in the morning, they can look at the location. No kid is gonna leave a phone at Nook Nook house and go hang out in the streets. They got to take those phones with them.
That's true. Well, that's all I have to say. I think.
What's up,
Wyatt?
Emmanuel? Emmanuel Livingston is here. He asked a question. Sorry, I happen to see a question from E. He says, how do we get the authorities to hold parents accountable? Well, parents are accountable when their kids don't go to school. I would think you would implement that same situation. So curfew, what do they call it? Truancy. You know, parents get in trouble for truant kids at school. So if you can hold
Okay,
them,
why they can't get in trouble for that? What's
I
going
mean,
on at the banks?
right? It's
You
the same.
got you got them lazy officers, man. I sit back and watch everything. You got them lazy ass officers just sit on that corner, just look at ass all day. They don't do nothing. But what they need to do is take them detectives and them daycare sheriffs out of their Hamilton County jail and walk that strip, man. And,
Yeah.
and come in undercover clothes and everything. Like, hey, what you doing? Because most of them kids is underage. I can guarantee you that. They underage. And
Yeah,
they wilding for
I
no
just think it's a
reason.
disservice. I think there should be more of an uproar. I'm just not seeing it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. I don't know if it's because if you see, sometimes you have these people that are what I call chaos agents. They raise all the hell in the world when certain things happen, but they don't understand that these are some of the things that domino affect what happens out in these streets. Is when you allow these kids, you give these kids too much leeway. It's just a matter of time before some innocent little girl is going to be in the middle of the street and get hit by one of these these street takeovers or something. You know, you see that stuff going on all the time, and you see innocent people getting hurt, or a little girl get caught in a crossfire, or a little boy get caught in a crossfire. You know, and if you don't put a halt to that stuff, we're going to go back to saying what we always say, and that is this is a senseless killing, because not everybody that get killed in the street is somebody that was involved in bad behavior or was involved in the street shit. Not
Right.
everybody is involved in that. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. The little kid, the guy who graduated from Withrow High School was not a street dude. That he just graduated high school and he was at a party in the park at Withrow High School and got shot in a drive-by. Now, granted, he probably shouldn't have been out that late, 3:00 in the morning at Withrow. But look, man, I'm not to the point in my life where I say he just graduated. So I'm not going to say he had no business at all out there. No, I get it, bro. You just graduated. It's monumental thing. You just graduated high school and you ready to move on to your life and do some big things. And I'm going to celebrate. I totally get that. But at the same time, there was somebody driving around in a car that felt comfortable shooting at people at 2:00 and 3:00 in the morning. And one of our children got hit. You see what I'm saying? That's an innocent
Yeah.
person who's not involved in street life who got hit by some people that's out there thugging and doing what they doing. You got to take control of these kids, because if you don't take control of these kids will take control of you.
Exactly. All right, Wyatt. That's all I gotta say,
All right,
man.
brother. I appreciate you calling and engaging with us, man.
Hey, should I gamble on your team, man?
Huh?
So should I take a gamble with your team, the
Which
Reds, even though they went 24-2?
No, they won a game 24-2.
I'm saying I think they play today or tomorrow. I should take a gamble with them on FanDuel.
Oh, you mean bet on them? I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I don't bet sports. I don't do that. I might
Oh,
drop a bet on a basketball game that's, like on a series, like on like an NBA final, like the championship game, or I might bet on
okay.
a World Series or something. But I don't bet like a normal thing. I might put one
Um,
bet down for the entire season. Last year I bet a little bit of money that the Reds was going to win the World Series. You know what I mean?
who did?
I bet that the Reds were going to win the World Series last year, and I lost that bet, obviously.
You knew that one go happen.
No, I didn't know it was going to happen, but the
Man,
odds
you
was
got
ridiculous.
that crazy coach couldn't even manage them price, whatever it is. Now you know that one go happen.
I'm just one of those guys that I believe. Look, man,
It's
look, bro.
okay,
I
take a
can go
gamble.
bet $3 on the I can bet $3 on the Powerball. That'll be $1 billion. Chances are I'm not going to win, but there is a chance that I could win. But the
Well,
chances
yeah.
are not in my favor. But I'm gonna bet
Oh,
$3 to win $1 billion. I don't care. That it doesn't make sense not to, unless you just don't gamble for religious beliefs or whatever. But if you go down there and bet $5 on a hand of blackjack to win $5, it just doesn't make any sense that you won't bet $3 on something to win $1 billion. That just doesn't make sense to me if you don't. So
all
every
right,
time
then.
the lottery is $1 billion, I play.
Okay.
All right,
All
brother.
right, Wyatt.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Yep,
Talk to
yep.
you. Thanks for engaging with us, twin. Wow, what do we do this time to keep twin from hitting the ceiling? What did we do? We're gonna have to revisit. I'm gonna have to watch the show after the show to see, was it me or was it the topic? I don't know. but he didn't get angry. He's a work in progress. He didn't get angry. He might have said some things that some people didn't agree with. I thought I read a few comments like stop lying, or whatever. I'm not quite sure, but he was kind of, he was calm today. Kind of calm today. Let me go back to the phone lines before we get up out of here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Mr. Wyatt, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing? It's Marquetta. I can hear you fine.
What's good with you, little sis? How you doing?
I'm wonderful. I was calling to see if you went to see Sinners.
Not yet. And it's on bootleg. I ain't plugged it. It's not a good version of it yet.
Now, that brother put in some work on that movie.
You went and seen it?
And I went to see it Saturday.
Okay. Is it good?
I guess it's wonderful.
Okay.
I guess they said it broke even. He made like 40 million to 60 million worldwide.
Wait a minute.
When you
say
really good.
He made, what are you talking about? The Michael B. Jordan guy?
Ryan Coogler,
okay.
The director.
Okay. Okay.
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan is like a Hollywood power couple. The first movie I recall was Fruitvale, the story of Oscar Grant when he got shot on New Year's Eve in the subway by the police because he wasn't moving fast enough to his knees.
Okay.
So they did like his life story. That was Michael B. Jordan's first movie. Excellent movie, wonderful storytelling.
Okay.
Terrible tragic event. Then they did that Creed, I guess, and Black Panther.
Okay. So let me ask you this, so I'll keep up, because I hear you, and people probably know this, but I don't. So, Michael B. Jordan, is he an executive producer of this film, or is he just a producer or executive producer? Is he the movie?
Michael B. Jordan is a wonderful actor. Oh my God, he plays a dual role in this movie. He plays twins, and he just looks so good and so strong and so masculine. I was so excited to see him because people don't give him the credit that's due. I don't know if he's an executive producer, but I do know that after 25 years, Ryan Coogler, he gets the full rights of the movie. So after 25 years, no one will be making money off of that movie but him, kind of like the masters.
Okay.
Which is really good. I wanted to also talk to you about Easter.
Okay.
I had on my Easter white. My baby girl took me out to go see King George, Westlove, TK Soul. Who else was there? J1, a blues concert down here in Houston.
Okay.
I'm real big into the blues.
I like that.
And I'm not sure if you saw that Black people line dancing made it to the Library of Congress. Did you see that?
No, that was not on my radar, but you got to tell me about that.
So Good Morning America. Good Morning America was trying to pay homage to Black Americans' contributions. You cannot erase Black Americans from the history of America, no matter what anybody does. There is no America without the American Negro. But it was an episode on Good Morning America, I think at the last day of Black History Month, February, where they had everybody come out and they was dancing in boots on the ground.
Okay.
And they was showing that this cultural tradition that originates with Black Americans was going to be enshrined and respected in the congressional halls of Congress, in the library, written out as this is something that they do. This is a part of congressional history because the library is basically documenting the people of America. We are Americans.
Okay. You
get what I'm saying?
I get it.
It was beautiful to see. And did you see Clarissa Shields? Did you see Clarissa Shields have to call out the girl from Baddies?
Yeah. You got to understand.
And what do you think about that?
Well, I'm into the professional fight game. Okay, I mean, I'm part of that world. I I never really take anything like that serious when you're talking about like Clarissa Shields is not to be messed with. None of them girls are on her level. Um, none of them girls are on her level when it come down to throwing hands and all that. She will destroy all those girls. Okay, so to be honest with you, man, I think a lot of them be clout chasing by trying to pick at her and say little things. I'm a Clarissa Shields fan, and I love her as a
Yeah,
person. She's been through so
she's
much
a sweetheart.
tragedy in her life. She's such a nice young lady. I've known her for about 10 years. I knew her before she was famous, and she's the same person that she was when she was just a regular person, like a regular, go to the gym workout person, no gold medals. I remember as a young girl just trying to make the USA team. I remember her back then.
Yeah, she got a strong portfolio as far as boxing. I mean, for her to say she would knock out some men, I
Well,
think she
she
kind of
she
took it
she
there.
probably could. Look, she spars with men. She probably could knock out some men. She's not gonna knock out a B or she's not gonna knock out an A level, B level, probably not even a C level man. She has a shot at a C level man, but there's levels to this boxing game. She's not gonna beat a
Sure.
man that's in the gym training as much as she is. She's not gonna. She could beat a man, an ordinary man, or a guy that's just starting out in boxing, or a guy that doesn't have any skills, or who might be weak in certain areas. She probably can beat a man, but um, I don't know if that's saying much of anything. I don't mean to be nasty about it, but she's not going to beat a man that's at the same level of where she's at is where she is at the female sport. She's not going to beat a man at the same level. It's not going to happen.
Okay, now for the meat that I called in for. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, now I'm gonna say I got to get this disclaimer before everybody start calling me names and getting hot.
Okay.
Dr. Umar Johnson has a track record of talking about AFRICOM, AFRICOM.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Umar say some of the same things. He got mass videos. You can look up him talking about the black male unemployment rate and how immigrants impact that. Okay? So I'm just saying, for reference, other people talk about this. There is a black general in the United States military who serves for AFRICOM, who is calling for war. They want to destroy Burkina Faso. Are you familiar with Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso?
I am only familiar with one of them, Mafaso. I know of him. I don't know of the other person you're speaking of.
Burkina Faso is a small country in Africa that just kicked the colonials out and took them off of their resource vulturing. So when they kicked out Emmanuel Macron's economy tanked because it's not backed by anything that Burkina Faso supplies them. There is no gold in France. There is no uranium in France. So there is no iron ore in France.
There's nothing supporting its dollar.
Right. There's nothing to support the colonists. So they kicked them out. And then it spread to 3 other countries. So it's Niger, Burkina Faso, and I want to say Mali. And what they did is they nationalized their own resources and said there will be no more vultures, whether from China or India, Europe, America, coming into our country, leaving with our resources while we starve, while we have no lights, while we don't have access to food. Captain Ibrahim Traore is the most successful of the group. They started their own electrical vehicle. They started their own tomato plant. They started free education up into the university. Everybody's school debt is wiped out clean. Okay. The American government now has their eyes on Burkina Faso through the black man. I want to say his name, Fleming. I forget his name, but it is a black head in the military of AFRICOM. And what he's saying is Ibrahim is using the money to enrich himself and not take care of the people. But the people are literally begging him never to go out of power. They don't want him to ever step down as president because they love him so much. But America wants a regime change. And the same way that they want to go to war with Iran and, you know, go to war with here and go there, they're about to go to war with Africa. AFRICOM has been building up in Africa since before the Obama administration. During the late term of the Bush administration, they just start building military bases in Africa. And this is why, you know, so when I talk to you or when we have community conversation, I just need us to realize we're like an insurance policy.
Meaning who? When you say where, you meaning
Black
American?
Americans.
Okay, I feel you.
Black, because you're a prisoner of war, basically. You think you got more power than we do. At 12.5% of the population, I be listening to people call for race war, and you can't get your kids from shooting each other. You got a 7-year-old that's been shot a 3-month-old, and we lost for direction. We don't know what to do. If you watch the movie Sinners, it's about, without telling the plot, it's about that. It's about the fact that Black Americans have to build their own. And when you invite other people in, they come and vampire off of you and destroy what you built. So it's Black
irony. The irony. Yeah, I feel you. I hear you.
It's a deep cultural and ancestral written movie. It's not one-dimensional. It's really a deep, beautifully written movie. But what I'm trying to get across to you is, doesn't matter who's running for president, when we have people who look like us calling for war with Africa, that to the rest of the world, you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You're at war with yourself. It's like, why would you sit in a position? The same way they did Colin Powell. Same way they did Colin Powell and had him sit up there as the face to say, we need to go to war with Iraq. But Iraq really wasn't, they really didn't have those weapons of mass destruction. That was a lie. And Colin Powell, he said he didn't know it was a lie, but he knew. Military intelligence would tell you that, you know, if it was real. But go see Sinners.
Okay.
And watch it.
So it's more than just a vampire movie. There's a message there. It sounds like it. It sounds like that's a history
piece. It's a portion of the movie where the Asian is, they're showing you how the Asian had a store. The Asian was able to give both the Black people and the white people segregated grocery store services because Black people wasn't allowed to have their own stores, so they used the Asian as a buffer.
Okay.
In the history of it, it shows you how, you know, you could be trying to build your own business or whatnot, but people would come in and act like, you know, I'm here in support of your service and what you're trying to do. I'm trying to do what you're trying to do. But honestly and truly, they want to take your position and take you out. I don't think that we have gotten to the point as a culture, because I listen to a lot of us, we're not as powerful. And when we are in positions of power, we play for the imperialist power.
I feel you.
You understand what I'm saying? When you talk about Christianity, for instance, that's an outgrowth of an African-centered concept of a virgin birth that comes straight out of Kemet. They come out of Africa. The Virgin Mother is Aset in Heru, you know, in ancient African lexicon. When you get the outgrowth of it, yeah, you get the Catholics. They're not giving you something new. They switching it up. So the Catholics got the money, the Mormons got the money. You know what I'm saying? The Jehovah's Witness sects got the money because they understand religion is a cultural currency. You know, you talk about the Kojic. Y'all ain't grew up getting your hair pressed on Sundays and you putting your best clothes on. We wear white on Resurrection Friday, you know. Right. But it's not to pay homage to no white man. It's not to pay homage to no white Catholic church, etc. It's just because it's cultural.
No, I understand. But that's why I don't know. Wait a minute. I know where you're going. Let me just say this. For y'all that's saying that she's telling the movie, how could you say that she's telling the movie? That she's giving her she's just giving, look, she's making me want to see it because, to be honest with you, I thought it was just a regular black horror movie of vampires. I had no idea that it was going to be this deep. So she's actually telling me information that now I'm going to be looking for. You understand what I'm saying? Like, just to be saying that she's telling the movie, I haven't heard anything about. I haven't heard.
It goes to who you like. It goes to who you like. A lot of people don't like me. I'm an outspoken woman.
I
say
get it,
what I
but
want to
no,
say.
sis, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna let that happen.
The criticism is warranted.
I understand, but I'm not gonna let that happen because look, if I felt you were saying something that's telling us the movie like what's about to happen, I would say, look, sis, I'm about to go watch it probably tomorrow. Chill out on, don't spoil it. But the fact that you were just giving us your interpretation of what you found in the movie with some points that we might want to look for, I love it. That's why I asked you, like, oh, it's more than just a vampire movie. There's a message in it.
I want to say that Ryan Coogler is a better director than Francis Ford Coppola. I want to say that Ryan Coogler is a better business mind than the Weinstein brothers and Miramax Films. I want to say that Michael B. Jordan, based off of what I saw, is a better actor than Al Pacino.
Ooh.
He is. He's a better actor. He's a better actor than
all right, listen.
Sylvester Stallone.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Go watch that movie.
Look, you making me want to plug it in.
Brothers.
You're gonna make me play. See, here's the thing. I have intentions of watching it, but I wasn't gonna watch it where they were gonna make some money. So I now got to support this movie. See, I'll be honest with you. I'm all about supporting what we're doing now. If what's his name, Michael B. Jordan and him got money invested in this thing, and it's their, they get clicks, likes, and all that in a different kind of way. If they have, if they're gonna get the credit for this, and that's how they making their money, I gotta go support it financially. You know what I'm saying? Because I really got a box, and it's on my box. I could watch it anytime I want. You're making me want to cut the box on right after this show and watch that movie just based on what you're telling me right now.
Your wife to the movie.
Yeah, and you know what? We were thinking like we don't want
to watch this movie.
We don't want to watch. Look, I'm not a scary. I don't like vampire movies and all that type of stuff. But now you got me thinking a little bit different. So I appreciate that information. It's got me looking past the vampire.
And discuss it.
Okay.
Sit with your family and discuss the cultural connotations of what's going on in that movie. I haven't talked about nothing more than what's already been revealed in the movie.
Okay.
Go watch the movie, y'all. Go put some money. That's where we do have power.
Right.
When we have a unified dollar, and they can then say, okay, it looks like Black people spent X amount of money, or this Black filmmaker was able to hit this,
But let's be honest. Does that really help give Black film budgets? I really don't think so. I mean, that's just my opinion. I've watched it for decades. Black people we so successful putting projects together. Spike Lee did some amazing work with Malcolm X, and that brother, those guys have the hardest time getting $100 million budgets like they do for little cartoons and shit like that. It's all about the money. We have sources right now where we can put on them same productions, what's his name? Tyler Perry has a whole studio down there that's bigger than the studio out in California. And I expect big things from him for that. So I'm hoping he's not just one of them guys that they allowed to let that happen because they knew he wasn't going to do what's needed. Sometimes, you
would never see a film like Ryan Coogler is directing out of a Tyler Perry studio.
Maybe not.
Ryan Coogler makes masculine Black male figures,
and that's what I'm talking about.
Character in every movie he makes.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, sis. I'm talking about sometimes they allow certain people to be in those positions because they know that they're not going to do what's needed, what's necessary. The difference between a Tyler Perry movie and some of the stuff that's coming out. I just don't agree. I
mean, it's the same thing you said about Umar Johnson being an inspiration to people like King Randall. Spike Lee is an inspiration to Ryan Coogler. There's no telling who else Ryan Coogler might encourage or inspire to step out the box and, pursue something bigger. I show Steve. He's straight out of Westchester. I think he may be 23 years old. He's a big celebrity in China. just off of streaming and doing action stunts.
Right.
You know, so it's all
Jackie Chan type
inspirational.
of
You know,
dude.
if we could get a unified mind, if we could start loving our culture and loving ourselves and stop all the animosity and hatred and self-hatred and start appreciating your reflection in media and, you know, things of that sort. Don't get me to preaching, but you know how I am. We wouldn't see a problem with Ryan Coogler. We would even prop him up more. We would give him more money to create that studio because he made Black Panther. This is you know, I used to read comic books growing up, but that was the whole Wakanda thing. That come out of Ryan Coogler.
Let me ask you something, and it's on that same level since we talking about studios. Did you notice, this is what I'm talking about in a sense. You'll know where I'm going with this. Did you see that 50 got his financing for his studios in Shreveport?
In Louisiana.
Now, right. Now that was an issue. Hold on. That was an issue for a minute. All right. But just think who stepped up to help him get that financing, and what kind of projects do you think are going to come out of there? I mean, I know I might sound like I'm saying something bad about it, but if you're going to push out Power and BMF and Godfathers and all this old type of stuff, and it's going to be Black exploitation of our people, I'm not with that. You understand what I'm saying? If all you can do is put out a bunch of dope dealing and exploiting our communities type projects, I'm not with that. You're going to have to bring me some Malcolm X's. You're going to have to bring me, you know, some of these more powerful, you know, storytelling, history movies. You're going to have to give us some real stuff. I'm tired of hearing about Bumpy Johnson.
Politics behind that. They used 50 Cent in Louisiana. If you go look it up, they was pushing for a tax levy in the area. And basically the corporations were saying, we don't want to pay X amount of tax. And the county is already real poor. So the poor Black people were saying, no, we need to keep the tax in place. When 50 Cent came around, he was on the side of the Republicans who wanted to not be taxed. And because he was prepped to get that business district at a low rate, again, because of whatever the issue was around the tax, he was pro-business. And so they've been chewing 50 Cent up all online, saying exactly what you just said. That's my same thing, you know, but Candy Burris, she owned Broadway with her money. She a fellow, Candy Burris, the lady out of Escape, Real Housewives. She took Denzel Washington and another white guy to Broadway and got the highest paid. You know, so we capable, but we are an insurance policy. I ain't gonna take too much more of your time. I appreciate talking to you.
Bad. I said
I hope you have a great week.
My bad, sis. I said she's actually tearing it up. You know what I'm saying? Candy Burris, she's doing a great job. She's holding it down and she's showing that, look, we can even take it to Broadway. You feel me? She doing it, and I'm happy for her. I'm glad she's being successful at it. Hopefully, Tyler Perry will bring some people into his studio. Excuse me, y'all. That was my phone. Maybe he'll bring in some other writers and stuff like that. Maybe he'll, you know, if I, this is just my opinion. If I was a studio owner, I wouldn't only put out my movies out of my studio. Maybe he'll allow some of these people to lease his space and put their productions together and push those movies. Maybe we'll create our own Lionsgate, and you know, maybe that'll be the beginning of something special. But right now, I
gotta say this.
Okay.
Monique told you about Tyler Perry.
I know.
Monique has been standing 10 toes
down,
telling us for years about Tyler Perry.
And
Tyler Perry don't want to pay union wages.
Yeah, but I also, let me just say this. I'm not a Tyler Perry fan when it comes down to his projects. I'm a Tyler fan when it comes down to his business hand. Yeah. But now keep in mind, sis, I'll say this because I got to defend him to a certain extent. Just because I don't like you or I don't like what you're doing don't mean that I'm not going to support what you do that's right. He has paid Black actresses in Hollywood or in Black Hollywood. He's paid them higher than any projects they've ever been on. And I keep hearing Black actresses tell us that in live videos. All right. So I give him props for that. He's also been able to do something that none of us had ever been able to do. And that is put a studio together. Now, sometimes there's a setup for the okie doke. I'm going to overpay because, you know, money is dispensable. You can always replace money, but you can't always replace a person's mind. And if the steal is this, I'm going to trick everybody to think I'm for the people, but I'm actually going to destroy them I'm gonna trick them over here, but I'm gonna destroy them over there. I've seen that trick a million times. And you're not gonna sit back here and overpay some people so you can set the precedent of what, you can set a precedent over here and keep us out here and exploiting certain things. I need some real men, Tyler Perry, to be headlining your movies. I need black men. If you want to put black men out there, you got to stop them from being, these soft, not in control, not, they sassy, they all that shit. And I'm just speaking from a man's point of view. I'm tired of seeing that, and I've been tired of seeing that for a while. But
and as a black woman, I want to say all of our love lives are not traumatic. A lot of us are able to have healthy, loving, long-lasting, satisfying relationships with black men who are dark-skinned and light-skinned.
Absolutely. Let me say this last thing, because I put it on Tyler, but now I got to go to 50. All right, I got to go to Curtis, and I got to tell him, bro, I need more than BMF. I need more than I need more than Power. I need more than gangster films coming out of that studio that you built in Shreveport. That's just me speaking from somebody that has a voice. I just think that we got to do better. And at the same time, I'm tired of slave movies. Why don't we? Who remember one of my favorite movies in the world was a funny movie somebody said that Eddie Murphy was done, and I forgot who it was. One of my favorite movies in the world was Boomerang. You know what I loved the most out of Boomerang? It was funny. It had a black cast, but it also showed black executives. It showed a black business, a makeup cosmetic company. Eddie Murphy was like some type of vice president. Robin Givens was his president of his division. And it was a black-owned company. And it showed black folks being successful in that business. You understand? It had its funny things and this and that. But the point of it was you didn't see no dusty-ass dudes, no drama when it came down to, robbing and stealing and the gangsters and this. I just, those movies get played out to me. And it was more realistic when it came down to relationships, than somebody's heart being broke, or, some man dragging a woman out of her womanhood, or some man, just demonizing black men. It wasn't that type of movie. And I just think that if we're going to build these studios, it better have some substance. That's all I can say about that. I don't want to see no more.
If you build it, they'll come. Keep building, though, brother. I just wanted to call in and drop in. I'll be on my routine. But, keep building and being positive and being the change you want to see for your community. The more that your light shine, the more people are going to be drawn to your light, and their light is going to shine up. And if each one of us shine up, we can get together and set this month on fire. But it's going to take some time. Y'all be good.
All right. Thanks, Marquetta. Thanks for chiming in and engaging with us. I appreciate it. I always get enlightened. I can't wait to go see that movie now. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to go see it. I'm probably going to go buy a ticket to see it, but I'm probably going to watch it on my box. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really a big go to the movie guy anymore. I used to be. But now what I might do, and some of y'all might think I'm on some cap, like, I don't like saying cap. That's the new, like something different. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I might just go to the damn movie theater and buy a ticket, and I might not go in. I don't really like to go to the movie theaters anymore. I'm willing to just pay for a ticket to support the movie. I have done that before at sporting events in Cincinnati, the Little League boxing and the Little League baseball and stuff. I'm the type of guy that will donate or, pay admission. I might not even have time to go. I might go buy some tickets and just say, hey, pick some people to go. I'm not even going to be in the city that day. I kind of support that way. I don't really go to the movie theaters to stay on that. I don't go to the movie theaters that often. I quite honestly don't feel comfortable in movie theaters because it's a soft target. I hate carrying a gun everywhere that I go. I don't even like living in a world where I got to carry my gun everywhere I go. And movie theaters are one of the places. And if you sitting in a movie theater and you got so many these guys that don't like black people, don't like white people, and if you in one of the movie theaters that some crazy dude could see a group, I know it's gonna be a group of black people in that damn Sinners movie. That's where we can get 50 or 100 of them at one time. I'm not trying to be in there. Unfortunately, that's some of y'all might say that's them controlling my life. Shit, there's a whole lot of places I won't go and the whole room look like us. I ain't going nowhere where I know that an assault can happen or a shooting can happen. I ain't going to no more after eye joints. My dumb ass used to be all up in there shooting dice and doing shit I ain't had no business doing. And that was us. That was us in there. So I don't discriminate in the foolishness that I'm not going to, be part of anymore. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So yeah, movie theaters aren't my thing. That's why I bought a box so I can watch it at home, but they don't get credit. The movie creator don't get credit for the sale. So sometimes, yeah, Linda Reed. Hold on. I'm looking for a clip because I just said something that I want. Let me see. Hold on one second. I'm looking for a clip and then I'm gonna read your comment, Linda Reed. Give me 1 second. I want to play this clip. All right. I found it. Linda Reed said, Wyatt, don't put that out in the atmosphere. Let me just say this to you, Linda Reed. The people that think that way thought about it that way long before I even thought to say it. That happens. If you think about some of the shootings that go on in malls, the shootings that go on in these movie theaters, the shootings that go on up in Michigan, let's just say at the grocery store, that white dude that shot all those black people a couple years ago in that parking lot and in the store, he knew to go to that black grocery store because the majority of the targets. Did you see him and I don't mean to rehash this. I just want to let you know, when he ran into the grocery store after shooting the parking lot up, he shot a few people in the grocery store, seen a white guy laying on the ground, and he said, and he went past him. He was purposely trying to shoot black people. So those type of thinkers, they already ahead of us. I'm just not trying to be in the target. You feel me, Linda? I'm not saying that, I'm not talking it up. I'm just being honest. I'm telling you the reason why I don't like going to movie theaters. Now think about this. When was the last time you went to a movie, a theater, and it had metal detectors in it? When was the last time you went to a bowling alley and it had metal detectors? Yeah, man, I ain't on that shit. Because I'm going to tell you, I got mine. Everywhere I go, I carry mine. And I don't want to be the dude that's trying to neutralize some shit for everybody. So I'm not trying to be Mr. Hero. I'm not trying to be out there in them streets. And I don't want to put myself in a position where I might not be the main target. But when somebody's shooting randomly, everybody's a target. I'd rather not. I want to show you this clip real fast before I get up out of here. The reason why I want to show you this clip, because I just said something to Marquetta. I said, I'm tired of these movies where black men, brothers we not really being represented well. And then you got these guys that's just agreeing with anything and everything just to act like they really about it and this and that. I'm going to show you this clip right here. And I only brought this clip. Dina said, how do we get a VC box again? I'm not going to sell that VC box on this show because I want y'all to go to the movie theaters and see Center. I want y'all to at least go get a ticket. You go get a ticket. I give you a couple days. Go get a ticket and support the movie. And then I'll show you how to get a VC box. All right. I'll show you how to get one and you can watch it on the box at home. Just go buy a ticket though. All right. Go support those brothers. I'm a Michael B. Jordan fan. I think I used to watch him as a kid when he played in The Wire. He played on The Wire. He had a nice little role on The Wire. He was somewhat of a main character. He became a main character when, the last couple episodes when they was getting rid of him. Like when they shot him, they killed him off. But of all the people on that series, The Wire, I never seen Michael B. Jordan coming. I never thought that he would be the one that becomes the major star. Him and the guy that played Omar. Those two guys pretty much, they made it. I'm going to show you this clip right here. You guys tell me now, fellas, this really for us. Women, y'all ladies, y'all have no business watching this. Okay? So let's do this. Let's do this. Let me give you a couple seconds. Ladies, I'm going to ask you to log off I'm going to ask you to cut the sound down. Okay, I don't want y'all listening to this. Ladies are not allowed to listen to this 30-second clip. It's by a brother who's saying he don't care what a woman's body count is. Okay. He don't care nothing about how many men she's been with. Now, this is the type of dudes we got out here saying shit just to be saying shit to sound relevant. He don't care what kind of body count she has on her. It don't matter to him because no other man could bring out the woman that she truly is like he can. Fuck is he talking about? What is he talking? See, this is the type of sip shit I'm talking about. Bruh, you fellas, listen closely. And y'all tell me if this dude is telling the truth. Ladies, cut your volume all the way down to 0. And when I do like this, that means cut it back on. Okay? Cut it back on when I do like this. But the fellas, cut your shit up. And I'm asking y'all, do you believe what he's saying? Check this clip out right here.
Oh, boy. The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. It don't intimidate me because I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had. Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy. You preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know how to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you. The reason
that is cap. I don't even say cap, all right? I'm not trying to be them young fellas. That is some bullshit. I'm going to let you hear it again, fellas, because the ladies, they're not listening. They're not listening. They're not listening, okay? But I want you to tell me what man you know think like this. He ain't even really know. This is the type of dude that's representing us out here now. You don't care what her body count is because no other man could bring out what you can bring out in a woman. What her past has been doesn't matter to you. Fuck out of here with that. I'm going to let you hear it again and I'm going to go straight to the phone line.
Oh, boy. The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25.
Hold on. Marcus Jenkins, I'm getting that same vibe. Because only a dude that don't... what dude? Come on. I'm getting that same vibe. Check it out.
Oh, boy. The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. It don't intimidate me because I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had. Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy. You preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know how to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you. The reason why.
See, that's too many Tyler Perry movies. Now, this is just my opinion. Just my opinion. For him to even compare what's going on, for him to say, excuse me, I just want to see something. I want to know if Emmanuel is coming on today, because I don't want to run over into his time, because I got a few minutes today. I got something on my schedule, but it's not at 3:30. Can somebody find out for me? E, if you're here, can you let me know if you have intentions of coming on today? I don't want to run over into your time, brother. And we can always hold off and wait on this little punk ass shit some other time. But this is the craziest shit that y'all... What man says, I don't care how many bodies you got? 25, 30, 35, 40. No other man could bring out the woman that you are like I can. First of all, ladies, you should be suspect of a man that would think it's okay for you to have a body count of 25, 30, 35, 40, whatever. What man wants a woman with that type of body count? Now, I'll be honest with you. I mean, ladies are probably, oh, I'm sorry, ladies, come on back, as if you went somewhere. I know y'all ain't go nowhere. Okay, thanks, AP. So I'll keep going. I feel like going today. So now let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. And I'm not saying, look, let's be fair. I don't think a woman wants a man that has 25, 30, 35, 40 either. Okay, I'm just gonna be fair. Let's do that, because I know some ladies was pretending they wasn't listening. So I just want to be fair, because the first one that complain and say some shit, then we know they were listening, right? But for the record, I don't think that women want guys with a 25, 30, 35, and a 40 body count either. What woman would say what he just said? What woman would say? What, honestly, what lady would come on this show and say, I don't care how many bodies that my man has, or the guy that I'm gonna be with has. I don't care how many bodies, because ain't none of them bodies gonna do what I can do for him. I'm gonna bring the best man out of him. You know what you're gonna be, ladies? You're gonna be body number, whatever body count he on. If he on 25, you're gonna be 26, and then there's gonna be a 27. And when this dude come out here and say some crazy shit like that, it's cap. He's lying. He's saying that shit because that's the world we live in today. Tyler Perry movies and all that old shit has created men who don't speak up, men who don't lead, and it's not to be expected. Think about it. Look at what we have out here that's setting the precedent. You got movies. I mean, come on, man. Let me go to the phone lines, yo. I just wanted to play that clip because that clip played a huge. I played that for Marquetta, because me and Marquetta right here, when it comes down to certain things, when it comes down to how men are being, how black men specifically are being treated out here when it comes down to masculinity. It's very easy to see that we are being, and the people are being manipulated. This is how you get women to believe a man is not necessary. I know we got those excuses and we got those ways of saying the government came in and told, our black women married the government. I think that's an insult. I personally, I think it's an insult to say that a welfare check, a woman would fall in love with a welfare check before she falls in love with a black man. I just think that's an insult. It's an insult to me as a black man. I think it's an insult, even further insult to a woman, specifically a black woman, because that's who you're claiming is doing it. I just don't believe that in my heart, that black women fell in love with government checks versus a black man. I'm sorry. I think she didn't fall in love with a dude. She had no business with that dude, and she ended up having a child with that dude. It didn't work out, and there was assistance there. As naive as I sound saying that, that's truly what I believe. I think it's a total insult when you say that black women fell in love and married the government over a man, over a black man. I think that black woman that had a baby with a man, I'm going to say this the last time, I think the black woman that had a baby with the man chose the wrong man. Shit didn't work out. She had a way of making a living and getting somewhere to live. Didn't need somebody that she didn't want. And I'll even go as further as this. There was a time where the grandparents stayed together for 60, 70 years. You think they've been happy that whole time? I hate to blow everybody's bubble away. I hate to sit here and say that grandma and grandpa have been together for 60, 70 years and it's just been peaches and cream. I hate to say that. We all know that relationships are hard to maintain. Even good relationships are hard at times, right? What makes you think a woman that had a kid with a man at 14 years old back in the 40s and in the 50s and stayed with a man till 1998, what makes you think that woman, been happy her whole life? She could have done what they do, what you called marrying the government. She could have done that. It just wasn't the thing that they did. Women, unfortunately, and I'm going to say it this way because I got two daughters, I got to say this as respectfully as I possibly can. But back in them early days, women just played their role and they knew their place. I know that sounds dirty, but they were taught that was their place. Don't make it right because you were taught that. But that's what made women at the age of 14, girls at the age of 14 back in those early days, marry a guy that's 18 years old and they stayed together 60 and 70 years. When the government came by and had this money, this welfare check or whatever, all it did is, I'm not going to say that the woman married the check. I'm going to say that the woman just didn't want to be in a relationship that didn't work and they wasn't working out. Maybe better decisions should have been made. But when you give them an option or a choice, I think they chose to be happier. That don't mean that it's going to be peaches and cream and happy the other way. But now let me ask you something. And this is coming from a guy that's been with his wife for 30 plus years, married 27 of those years. So I can't judge a person, but I will ask this question. Knowing what you know as a person and who you are today, would you be in a bad relationship for 50 years? Or would you want to have some type of freedom in your life to be able to maybe find someone that's more compatible to you? I mean, think about it. What makes more sense to you? I'm just going to rough and tough this shit out for the next 45, 50 years of my life with a bad guy who's going to cheat on me and be bad to me all the time? Gonna beat my ass, gonna come home drunk from drinking and hanging out all night? I'm just gonna deal with that? So when I hear that old shit about these women married the welfare check and they married the government, it sounds fly. It sounds like a bar to a lot of people. It sounds like something that's legitimately, it sounds like a pass off of irresponsible behavior somewhere down the line. And we always got somebody we can blame for the shit that we truly do. We still do that to this day. Everybody got a reason why our kids are horrible and bad in our communities. Nobody wants to, even our leaders don't want to point the finger at the true cause, and that's the family. The family. Let me go to the phone line. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, it's CK, brother. What's going on, man?
Cincinnati King himself. What's
Yes,
good
sir.
with you, brother? How you doing, CK?
I see in your strategy now. You keep a brother on hold so long, you want a nigga to forget what he called for. That's what it's about.
Works
You be having it. That's a 20, 30-minute wait, and you know I'm on break, Wyatt. You know I'm on break.
You've been on hold for 14 minutes and 17, 18, 19 seconds now. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. We talking facts right now?
I'm looking at the phone counter, brother.
Hey, but look. So you gonna call this brother out, but you ain't called the dude out when he said that his shit was worse than what you just played. He said most of them kids is underage. Ain't that a fucking oxymoron, Wyatt? And you let that shit slide.
Wait, back up.
The last phone caller, remember, Twin said most of those kids are underage.
Meaning
what the hell does that mean?
Back up a little bit, slow it down. You know I'm slow. You know I'm a C student. You got to help me out. You got to help me out. What are you talking? You talking about what Twin said? What did he say that I should have checked?
He said to you on the phone, he said, most of those kids are underage.
What kids were
we? And you ain't call them out.
What kids we talking about? Maybe
I don't care what kids he's talking about. All kids are underage. They freaking kids. You should have called them out on it.
Yeah, but
how we were talking about a statement like that. That's like saying, most of the old folks are senior citizens.
Yeah,
but what the hell?
But CK, you got to put it in proper context, bro. What are they underage for? Or what are we talking about?
Y'all were talking about some criminal stopping crime and stuff, but I'm like, for him to say most of the kids, all kids are underage. There's not adult kids. They're kids. They're all 100% underage. Okay. You can't say most of them.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. See, I told you I'm slow. You know, I'm slow to the beat sometimes. Yeah. I just didn't know where you were going with it. You're saying that he made a comment, and you know, Twin is a little bit like you when it comes down to conversations. Y'all can sometimes get ahead of the conversation and say things that are not really, right for the moment, and I don't really capture it all. Okay, so you're gonna say some things that probably won't make sense, but I follow you. And then when I go back and listen to the recording, or if you're a critical thinker like you are to other people, maybe you catch it at the moment. I don't quite catch everything. But when
yes, but we gonna be direct on this one right here.
Okay, let's be direct.
The one you just played on your air, on your platform.
Okay.
You have got to stop doing that, Wyatt.
What?
That dude's opinion is his opinion. You cannot put Wyatt's opinions on the world. You don't make the rules. That's his individual thought. Now you say, oh, that type of dude or these type of dudes. No, that's one person. That's how people think. People have individuals.
Yes.
Don't nobody give a damn about a body count. You would never go on a date and ask a woman her body count unless you're a lame.
So why
only lames ask body count?
So what is he talking about then? Why would he say that? Why would he say?
No, because he believes it. That's what he believes in his heart.
No, I don't.
He says, I don't give a damn how many women how many men you've been with. It don't. To him, it doesn't matter how many men and women been with.
Do you believe him?
What you say?
Do you believe him? Do you believe him? It's his opinion of what he believes, but do you believe what he said in that clip?
Of course, why wouldn't I?
Okay, all right.
I don't even know the gentleman, sir. I have to believe what he says.
Okay,
we have to stop trying to get in people's brains and figure them out. You are who we thought you were. Remember that?
I do.
The Arizona Cardinals, Dennis Green coach. They are who we thought they were. Whatever you say, son. So you want to be young Philip? You want to be young Philip parading in a dress?
Let me ask you something.
I'm going to treat you as such.
So now
you're a he/she to me. I'm not going to treat you like a gangster rapper.
So now wait a minute. Let me ask you something, CK. Just for the hell of it. Just because for the crowd. Do you believe a little boy who says he's a girl?
Of course I believe him. He believes it because he's so young and naive.
Okay. Oh, because he's young and naive. So naive makes him...
he believes anything. He has a impressionable personality.
Okay,
so he believes a lot.
Since he believes it, it makes it true?
No, it doesn't make it true.
Okay,
it makes
so
it true
you believe fallacies because people believe them themselves. So if somebody's sitting next to you and they have schizophrenia and they're sitting back talking to their imaginary friend, do you talk to that imaginary friend as well?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you don't necessarily believe what other people believe just because they believe it. You know reality.
No, you could say, listen, sir, I wouldn't do it like that, but that's whatever floats your boat. He's telling you what floats his boat.
I don't
and for you to be disgusted by his opinion shows your insecurity. Like you did a show a few weeks ago about guys our age dating 25 and 26 years old. And I said, oh, there's Wyatt showing his insecurity because he has a daughter around it. All of them don't have daughters. All of them can't relate to you. This is your opinion. You can't put your opinion on other people.
I think I make my opinion very clear when I make an opinion. I'm pretty sure I tell everybody, and some people don't even like the fact that when I voice my opinion that I always make it clear and overly clear that this is how I feel and this is my opinion. So you're judging me, CK, because of my opinion, the way that you're not wanting me to judge other people. You're mad at me because of my opinion.
I respect your opinion, but I think that's the problem. I think you don't respect others.
No, I think what happens is let's go back to the one about the 25-year-old. For me, being the age that I am, to have a daughter that's 24 years old, and for me to talk to a man that's my age, and I don't understand what he gets out of a 25-year-old or a 24-year-old when I have a daughter that age. Look, if it's just sexual, then let that be what it is. I didn't go there. I said, I don't understand how they can even have a conversation. I don't see how they has a stimulus conversation. How could a man my age have a real conversation with a 24, 25-year-old? What are we going to talk about? That's what my conversation.
So you're saying, so listen to how ridiculous what you just said. So you never seen a 25-year-old talk to a 51-year-old man? That's like out of the realm. That's regular.
When you say
that's like every day.
When you say talk to, are we talking about them in a relationship conversation? Or are we talking about they work together and they just happen to be talking about something, anything?
As mono, as person, as Percy, when you're 25 and you're 51, you're still human on human.
You're human, but
you're still adult on adult.
what does a 25? Okay, what are they watching? What TV
The
show?
same thing,
You
sir.
think
The
that a
same 25. Hold on, a 25-year-old loves Luther just like a 51-year-old. You cannot deny the facts that I'm giving you right now.
Say those numbers again.
A 25-year-old loves Luther Vandross just like a 51-year-old.
Okay,
They listen to Jodeci. Both ages listen to Jodeci. They have more in common than you would think, Mr. Wyatt.
CK, I'm willing to bet you, and it don't have to be nothing life-changing type of money. I'm willing to bet you that most 25-year-olders that you know and that I know and the majority of people on this platform know that are 25 years old, which are usually our kids' age, they ain't never heard of Luther Vandross.
I ain't gonna take your money, man. You funny as hell. That's why your show no. You be saying some out. That's about as mad as most of the kids I see are underage. That's what you just said. You said they don't know who Luther is. Everybody know who Luther is.
No, they don't.
Luther is like Marvin Gaye.
They don't know, bruh. They don't know Marvin Gaye.
A house is not a home. Bro, it's transparent. Bro, have you heard? Every person heard this.
CK, I hate to tell you this, all right? But unfortunately, brother, you stuck in a time machine because most kids don't know who. You know what? The only thing you can get a kid to listen to of Luther Vandross today is if one of these rappers come out with a remix using a Luther Vandross beat, and they'll swear up and down that's some new shit. It happens every day. They'll take a Luther Vandross beat or some old school beat that was from Luther Vandross or anybody else who you just said, Marvin Gaye and all of them. They'll take that beat from them, and these kids today, shit, bro. I was listening to a song the other day. My kids heard it, and I'm like, yeah, this that shit. And it was I'll Be Sure Night and Day remix. Okay, it was right. It was one of today's rappers rapping over a beat from the 90s, which is 20 years before Luther Vandross. And they didn't even know who I'll Be Sure was, let alone
because he is not a Luther. Come on, you better not say that. You better not. You know he's not on Luther level. You know he's not on. You know he's not on.
He don't have to
Stop that now,
bro.
That is I'll Be Sure is good, but he's not no freaking Luther. Luther is Michael Jackson.
I don't know if he was Michael Jackson, but
was he Marvin Gaye then? Okay, I went too far. I lied. He's not Michael, but is he Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, he's more of a Marvin Gaye. He's more of a Luther. Luther's more of a Marvin Gaye. He's more of a Teddy Pendergrass. You know, those guys had the black community. But I will say that Luther Vandross was probably more of a crossover artist than some of the other guys. But keep in mind, in the 90s, white people were listening to R&B music a lot more than they were in the 70s and 80s. You see what I'm saying? So the 90s New Jack Swing was playing in white clubs and pop clubs and stuff like that as well. They were playing that shit overseas. So to say that I'll Be Sure wasn't like as big as Luther Vandross, I don't know if that's true. I'm
saying no, man. I went to the concert, sir. You're talking to an OG, but I'm just trying to tell you, I went to see Bobby Brown, I'll Be Sure, and New Edition in Atlanta. And listen, sir, with these 25-year-old, the young Beyonce chick, 25, just walked up to me like, boy, why you ain't calling? I'm thinking like Wyatt. Like, we ain't got nothing to call. She like, boy, you don't call me? Well, motherfucker, hit me on Facebook, hit me on Messenger. That's the game, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm about to tell you right now.
She's looking at me like you. She like, stop thinking like that, Wyatt.
Brother,
don't think like that. You're thinking yourself out of a great situation.
No,
that 25-year-old would make you happier than you ever been in your life. You're just saying that because you already happily married. You got to go to a miserable person and see how happy the 25 are gonna make them. You're not looking clearly at it, sir. You're not looking clearly. Brother. If you was you just thinking from a happily married perspective.
No.
I got him.
No, okay. I took a couple body shots and I ducked a few head shots, but now I got to throw some shots back at you, brother.
Okay.
I am going to tell you that a 25-year-old can't stimulate me. I'm a grown ass man.
That's you, sir. You're married. How could you stop doing that?
It has nothing to do with being married, brother. It's all about my mindset.
Okay.
I'm just being honest with you. It's the things that I enjoy doing in life. A 25-year-old is not going to be doing shit like that. Okay. Like, didn't I just tell you that I hit the bed at 10:30? I hit bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Them 25s like that 10:30, 9 o'clock bedtime.
No, they
Some
don't.
of them do.
All right, let me say this to you, CK, so the people will understand where I'm coming from. I'm just gonna be
Okay,
honest.
I want to hear this.
I need you to put your antenna all the way up and cut it up. Okay,
Yes,
I need you to put it up. Only one of two things are gonna happen with you being 50 or 51 years old, messing with a 25-year-old in the world that I live in the world that I'm from. Not that I live in, but the world that I'm from. You either gonna get robbed or you gonna get used the fuck up. That's it. They're gonna use you for your little bit of money, or you gonna get robbed. That's the only thing a 25-year-old gonna be able to do for a 51, 52-year-old man these days. They're not into you, bro. They're not into you.
I ain't made the 5-0 yet. I'm 4-9. I'm 4-9. Okay. Let's get that clear. I'm 4-9. All right.
Put the 49
So
on that
hold
list.
on to that 1976 chance.
Bruh, I'm gonna put the 49 like coming from the Fair Apartments going downtown. That's that 49 bus. I'm gonna put that 49 on that list too. You could be 49 and 3 months old. You ain't got nothing coming with a 24, 25-year-old.
Listen, sir.
I got one. I got a 24-year-old daughter, brother.
Yeah, that's your freaking daughter.
I know what I'm
your
saying.
Your mind is warped, man. It's like that movie. You remember when Ving Rhames told him, he said, "Why you got the game all twisted? You got the game off. You're looking at it through messed up goggles and lens through being married and everything."
I love talking to you, bro. This is so interesting because I know you for real too. Like you dead ass. Because you just said to me.
Right.
Yeah, you just said to me that I'm passing up a great situation. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think so. I don't think a 24, 25-year-old is a good situation, bro.
My God.
No, not for me, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I would think in such a malice kind of way, like, girl, what are you talking about? You better go on. Like, there's no way in hell a 24-year-old would find me appealing unless there's something.
You're twisted, sir. That's because you look at every 25-year-old like your daughter. Let's say what it is. Every 25-year-old girl you look at her as your daughter.
First of all,
so you could never even fathom what I'm saying.
First of all, let's just be 100. Let's be 100. A 24-year-old is probably listening to Sexy Red and some of this other shit. I'm not built. I'm not really built for that. I'm beyond.
That's my favorite artist, Wyatt. That's my favorite artist.
So CK, you are stuck in a time machine. You're gonna learn the hard way, my friend. See, I remember a story that you told one time. I gotta bring it back up because I love you. And I love listening to what you say. I remember one day you said you was at the casino. Okay. And you said you had just got off work and you was dressed down. You wasn't dressed up in your nice shit, right?
Right.
And you said that you went all the way home. She wouldn't give you no holler. There was a girl that wouldn't give you no holler. So you went all the way home and put on your Jordans.
Right.
Remember that? And when you came back, now she into you. She's not into you. She's into what you can do for her. She's not into you. She now sees that you can afford some Jordans, so maybe she can afford some Jordans for her. I can guarantee you one thing. That girl that was at the casino was nowhere near your age. Now, was she?
Yeah, she's about 30. You're right. You got me on that one. You got me.
No.
You got me on that one. I give you that one. That's a body show. I'm taking the knee. Referee count.
Bro, I hit even when they down on the mat. So give me a couple more seconds. Because I don't believe in letting a bigger guy get up. Once I hit you, I keep swinging. Okay. So I got some more for you. I've seen brothers like you get ripped and robbed all day. Okay. They setting you up to be robbed. They setting you up to steal the little check you gonna get on Friday. They are not into you.
I get paid Friday. I can't stand you.
I'm just telling you, bro. She already called and told me that CK dude that called your show. He told me he get paid on Friday. So I'm letting you know they already on to you. They know you get paid on Friday because they see you on Fridays.
Right.
You don't think them little girls be keeping up? They keep up. They know your payday like you know your payday. That's why I don't go in them places like that. I don't have to buy, like, and I'm not suggesting that you do. I know that a 25, 24-year-old is not on my radar for way more other reasons than being robbed and all of that. They just don't have, we don't listen. They don't know Luther Vandross. They don't know Marvin Gaye. They don't know nothing that you talk about.
I need opportunity for a rebuttal, Wyatt, because I can defend myself.
Okay.
And I have valid points.
I'm going to let you have the last word on this. I'm going to let you have the last word on this. Go ahead, CK.
Okay, people are people. The problems that you get from younger women are the same problems you get from older women. An old whore will destroy you just like a young whore. There's no difference.
CK, I'm gonna let
There's
you
no
keep.
difference.
CK, I'm gonna let you keep talking. I'm just gonna go grab something real fast, but I can hear
No,
you. Okay.
but you see, the older woman is bitter, so there's more plotting and what's the word I'm looking for? They're they're plotting and the mystique, like they trying a revenge, a big payback, like James Brown. They trying a big payback, and they're plotting. A younger woman is more looking for happiness, more innocent. It's not more because a lot of these older women, they have been through so much that they like to hurt you. But if you get a younger woman, 30, 35, and she has a good personality, hey, you can go far with it, right? You can go far. These older ones, how is you going? You're not going to be able to. If you divorce your wife now, you're not going to go up. You're going to go down. This is a fact.
Well, CK, I'll say this to you, brother. I couldn't wait to get back to the phone because you just said that shit ass backwards.
Okay,
Younger women, quite frankly, I don't know how we turned into this. What's that guy's name? The guy who had the show.
Oh yeah, the one that died.
Yeah, Sam, whatever.
Yeah,
his name.
Kevin
Samuels.
Kevin. Yes.
I don't know how you came up with that conclusion, brother, but let me explain something to you. You just said it backwards, if I may. The older women are the ones that are actually through with the bullshit and ready to settle down and have someone that's more of a companion. The young girls are the ones that's on the games and setting shit up. You got it all wrong, brother. You got it backwards.
No, sir, you forgot. You remember our parents. You remember our mother and father, right?
Yeah.
They was married before we was even born. They did it the right way. So you could find those type of beautiful women in the world today, black women that want to get married at 25 and 30, sir, and have a family. They do exist.
Yeah, okay.
They do exist. You act like every 25-year-old is treacherous.
I think
I
don't think that there's many 25, 24-year-old young ladies out there trying to marry a 50-year-old man. That's what we were talking about.
But love is blind. Don't forget, love is blind. You don't know what love is. It don't matter. It comes in all types, just like your wife. You don't know what she was gonna be. It's just love. That's who you with.
You keep moving the goalpost and the goal line and everything on me.
What you mean? What you mean?
Because that's not. You're taking it and making it about, black women want to get married and all that shit too. But we're talking about an age difference in the compatibility between two people. I'm telling you that a 24-year-old girl has no good intentions with a 50-year-old man.
And that's where you're wrong at, Wyatt. Okay. This is where you're miscalculating.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
Women,
you're 49. You're 49. So I'm gonna back the girl's age up to 23. Have you ever dated a 23-year-old girl at 49 years old?
Easy work, no problem. Yes. Yes, I have.
Like
President Obama.
Yeah,
easy work.
Okay, love. Cool. How that shit work out for you?
It was beautiful.
Really? When y'all getting married?
Oh my God, man. I'm trying to tell you about.
Wait a minute, no. You gonna send me an invitation? What color you wearing? Can I be in the wedding?
No, but where
should I send the gift?
Listen, sir.
No, where should I send the gift?
No, I'm a bachelor, sir.
Oh,
I just
so that shit didn't work out.
Hold on. But let me explain. You're not letting me get it out. I got a heavy point I need to get across to you, Mr. Randall Wyatt. Listen to it. This is what you overlooking in the conversation. Through your whole conversation, then and now, when you presented it 3 weeks ago on your podcast, you forget one thing. Okay. You forgot about how attractive women are to older men.
Yes.
That's what he ain't put in the math. He ain't put that in the math. How they like them grades.
Not 25,
talk about it.
Bro.
You forgot about that.
Bro, not 25-year difference. I can see a 10-year, maybe 15-year difference. A 25-year-old girl being with a 40-year-old dude is about the limit. Okay, I could see something like that. And they might not make it. There's some things that's going to be a disconnect in a relationship like that as well. But let's go back to what we've been talking about. I don't see anything that could make a 24. I don't see anything. Do you realize that's like these young girls dating their father or their daddy, or that's them.
Yeah.
What girl?
And that's how I
The
be. That's how
majority.
when I went on the ones you asked me about, I'll be like, how old your mom is? Oh, my mom's 51. My mom, they be the same age. It's the game, man. This is what we in.
You said
Adult is adult. You are gotta stop saying it's a category when it comes to dating. When it comes to dating, it's just 18 and old. So a 75-year-old could date a 19-year-old.
Oh,
That's how the game goes.
bro, did you just say that? You didn't mean that. You was just saying
You
shit.
seen it. The girl,
What?
you remember when the girl did it? She
What?
married the rich guy. She did it.
And she married him because she loved him. Right?
No, he married her because he wanted to marry her and he was rich.
No.
There you go.
No. It takes two people to get married. So somebody got to say yes. So if they love each other, it's fair to say that 19-year-old girl loved that 75-year-old man. You got to be, I think, like, you really think.
Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna hit you with a truck. She loved what that 80-year-old man could do for her. That's what I said.
Okay. Which was
But she
what?
soon perished. Remember, she died. She died after hitting it, and they killed her, got that money.
What a shame.
But,
what a shame.
Yes, but I'm just trying to tell you, a 25, like, you remember Danny Glover and Whoopi Goldberg? They had a magnificent love affair on Color Purple. She couldn't wait for him to come home from work. Came home from work. I could.
Are we talking about a
the best
movie?
breakfast you ever seen.
Are we talking about a movie?
You remember that breakfast we cooked for Danny Glover?
You're talking about a movie?
Whoopi Goldberg.
You're talking about a movie and not real life?
You know what I'm saying? The same thing. I'm telling you, these younger women prefer. Look, you are security, sir. Listen.
Now you
if
talk.
A 25-year-old
see, now you start. Now you're starting to make some sense. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
You're some security. But I'm going to tell you something, brother. I don't know if it's that much security in the world for a 24-year-old to be with a 51-year-old man. It's not that a girl that's 25 years old. A secure man is someone that's 35 to 40. Okay, that makes a little sense because they're not that far off of hearing and listening to the same music. Your shit that you would be pulling up in the CD player would be some dinosaur shit. You and your 24-year-old girl can't ride in your car bumping Teddy Pendergrass, Turn Off the Lights. She don't want to hear that shit, bro. That shit is played out.
Oh, well, okay. I got to tell you the truth. You are making great points, but you're right and wrong. There are women that because I just had sex with a 23-year-old like about a month ago, right? Best sex you ever had in your life.
Cap.
But like you said,
cap.
Cap. No, the sex was beautiful.
Cap, bro, that's a baseball cap turned to the back. Stop lying.
Hold on. I kept calling her back because the mood. That means good, right?
You didn't have enough money. You ain't got to tell me what you did. You ain't got to tell, but you got the number went up. You called, but the number went up.
That put him out like Pacquiao. That was that Marquez Pacquiao punch. You put him to sleep with that one.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Listen, I hate to tell you, CK, but I've been living long enough to know what it takes for a 50-year-old, 51-year-old man to get with a 24-year-old girl. You got to pay to play. That's all I can tell you. I know that.
Hold on, but hold on. We got to get a replay on that. You ain't have enough money. That's what happened.
That's what happened. You know it to be true.
The phone got quiet, didn't it? It got dead silent. He should have just hung up right there. He knew he lost. Well, it been good sparring with you, man. But you got another law. But I will train and I will get you in another debate one day.
But you got to stop being ACK. You're gonna have to go to somebody. You're gonna have to get a new trainer, brother. Because you easy work, bro.
Man, please. Only reason you be whooping my ass because I be at work. If I be at home, I be beating your ass when I be at home. I be distracted. I be doing other shit.
You're gonna have to catch me on something that I'm so far off of target on.
And I was gonna whoop your ass on that Clarissa Shields beating a man topic, but I'll wait another time.
So wait a minute. All right, we can wait another time, but I'm just gonna ask you so I'll know.
Much love to the family, man. Thank you for talking to me, brother.
Thank you, man. Thanks for engaging with us, CK, with your crazy ass. Did that man say 24 years old? Let me get my text messages. See what. Okay. I just wanted to text my daughter back. Did he just say a 50-year-old? I'm not suggesting. Look, all right, I shouldn't do this. I'm gonna touch it for a second, just for a second. Did that man just say that a 24, 25-year-old chick out here, little girl, is really into a guy that's 50 or 51 years old? I'm not suggesting that it don't happen. I'm not suggesting that there's some 25-year-old girls that don't find 50-year-old guys attractive, but they ain't got no daddy. They don't have a father at home. Because if you got a woman, okay, it's fair to say 25-year-old is a woman. That is a young woman that's not been raised in a home with a father. If she's out here messing with 50-year-old men, because that could be somebody, she ain't got nobody that a 50-year-old man would be in her mind as, ooh, that's like my daddy. Let me just say this to you, just for y'all that need to hear it. 50-year-old men voice don't even resonate with a 25-year-old girl. Like, they don't even want to hear your old ass talk, let alone what you talking about. They don't care what you talking about. They don't even want to hear your voice. Your voice sound old to them. Just being honest. And here's the real thing. I'm going to change it just a little bit, just for those that need to hear it. I got a 24-year-old daughter that'll be 25 this year in 2025, and I'm going to say this to you. If my daughter brought home or mentioned or said anything, or I caught her with a 25-year-old dude, I'm beating his ass. I don't care who he is. I don't care what he do for a living. He could be a prize fighter. I'm going to find a way to beat his ass. Because in real life, a 50-year-old man should know better. You have no good intentions with my daughter, bro. I'd rather her be with a knucklehead ass 22-year-old or 24 or 25-year-old, her age. I'd rather her be with a knucklehead ass dude than a dude that's way that more advanced than her. She gonna have a tougher life with a dude that's older and manipulates her. And he, just think, even if they stayed together for 3, 4, 5 years, she gonna burn out on him. He's gonna burn out on her, I should say. Like, she ain't gonna want to be bothered with his ass when it's time to start wiping his ass and taking care of him, or when he can't do what he need to do anymore. You know what I'm saying? That goes for any woman. Nah, I ain't buying that brand, CK. I'm not buying that brand. I just don't think it's right. I don't think that there's. All right, let's just say this. What intent do you with my daughter if you're 50 and she's 25? I don't care if you Bill Belichick, the coach of the Patriots, the ex-coach of the Patriots. Here he is, like 68 years old with a 30-year-old girl. If I'm Bill Belichick's son and I'm my age and he's 68 or 70, whatever, I'm going to be like, Daddy, what are you doing? Well, this shit is crazy. This is not, there's no good intentions here. What does a 30-year-old woman want with a 70-year-old man other than she going to use his ass up? And as a 50-year-old dude, what do I find? Look, okay, we grown here. I can say the obvious. Maybe a 50-year-old man might want a 25-year-old woman, girl, to be able to sexually please him. Just me, CK, can't find that appealing because I got a 25, 24-year-old daughter. I wouldn't be able to get that out of my head. Do you understand? A real man that raises children wouldn't do that. See, a young woman to a 50-year-old man, where we at, 50-year-old? Where we at? Where everybody at? Where my 50-year-old men at? You ain't got to raise your hand because you didn't already lied on these TVs and all these podcasts and shit. You've been lying your whole life about how old you are and all that old shit. So I won't ask you to raise your hand. I just want you to listen, pay attention, and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Just make a comment. Let's just be honest. If what Scott Bain put his hand up. I respect that. Thank you, Scott. Scott, I don't know if you have children or not. I don't know if you have a daughter or not. I don't know if you have a daughter that's 20, 25 years old. I don't know. Okay. But I'm trying to say this because I might hurt some feelings to some people. I might hurt some feelings. If you're a 50-year-old man or older and you raise daughters and you out here running around with girls that's your daughter's age, you suspect to me. You're suspect. I find it troublesome. I find it bad that you would find a 24 or 25-year-old appealing when you have a 24, 25-year-old daughter. I find that troublesome. And the reason why I say that is because now if you're a 50-year-old man and have a 24-year-old or a 25-year-old daughter and you ain't raise her, it makes sense. If she ain't been in your household, you ain't gave her no lunch money, you ain't raised her, you ain't sent her off to the prom with a knucklehead, you ain't done nothing in her life but just be called her daddy, that's a different conversation. But if you've been engaged in your daughter's life, woke up fixing breakfast, picking them up from daycare, taking them to school, fixing problems for them, being in their life, being a real father, there's no way in hell you would find yourself with somebody that you just took care of. You understand what I'm saying? That makes no sense to me. Like, how do you have a conversation as a grown 50-year-old man? What are y'all talking about when she's 25 and you're 50? Are y'all watching the same reality TV shows? What the fuck y'all watching that y'all love it? Like, the tattoos ain't even the same these days. A 50-year-old tattoo, a 50-year-old who has tattoos, your tattoo don't look nothing like the shit that a 25-year-old tattoo person, a 25-year-old would get tatted on their body. What do you have in common? She got a little ass on her and you got a pocket. That's the only thing y'all have that's going to drive anything y'all trying to do. That's it. Now, I'm not suggesting that those type of connections don't happen. That ain't it. Ross says, I have a 25 and a 23 and a 20-year-old daughter, and y'all will blank effing with them. They would die effing with them. Excuse me. It was moving. That's how I feel. I got a 24-year-old daughter who's turning 25 this year in December. And if she came home with a dude that was anything over 40 years old, and that's really pushing it, I'm just giving it some grace. If she came home, if he was 40 years old in 3 months, 40 years, 3 months, 40 years and 3 months old, that's too old. You ain't got good intentions with my baby anything after, if you older than that. Y'all you on some bullshit, and I'm about to stop this bullshit. I'm about to clean up aisle 7 with your ass right now. And for the guys out here that's 50 plus years old, you lightweight on Creep Squad. if you messing with 20-year-old girls, 25-year-old girls. That almost makes you look weak in my eyes. Now, I know I might have just stepped on somebody's toes that probably mess with 25-year-old girls, but I'm just speaking my piece. If you 50 plus years old and you messing with 25-year-old girls, I'm going to tell you what you are. I'm going to tell you what you are, in my opinion. You got a weak game. You got a weak game. Because if you really think that your mouthpiece is slick enough to pull a 25-year-old, I guarantee you led with your wallet in that conversation. You got a fly ass car out there that they don't know that you got a car payment. You know what I'm saying? You got some shit sitting outside that make you look like you balling, and you probably got a retirement check that's paying for the motherfucker. You probably got weak game, so you're leading with your wallet. And that's what makes you weak in my eyes. Now, some might think that that's strong. Some might be like, oh, that's strong. No, I got to stand on my circle on that. Simba said, Wyatt, in my 20s, I kicked it with a lot of ladies that were in their 40s. I had big fun with them. They enjoy riding my six pack. Now I'm about to show my true colors. Okay? I'm going to show you that I can sometimes probably be chauvinistic. Or I could probably be imbalanced in my comments and my feels. I'm going to be honest. At least I'm honest about my discrepancies. At least I'm honest. When I was a young dude, I was 19 years old. I was in Europe. And I messed with a girl. No, I was 18. I wasn't 19 yet. I was 18 years old. It was before I came back. I was 18 years old, and I was messing with a girl that was in the military. Because I didn't have anywhere else to go other than to the military spots. Like, I've lived in Europe, but the only people that I could find that were American were over at the army bases and Air Force and stuff like that. So I would go over there to the gym and I would walk in. I had no American ID. It's just I looked like an American. I wore a lot of American clothes. So they never questioned me. So I was able to get over there, and I met a young lady, well, older lady. I was 18, just about to finish school, high school. And I met her. She was in the military, and she was like 30, 32, 33 years old. She was 30, in her early 30s. So I see how things happen. But at that particular time, keep in mind, Simba, we was the younger person. Feel me? And you had no intention, Simba, to be with that individual. You was getting what you wanted. I think that's been my whole argument of that's why I won't let an old dude mess with my daughter, because you don't have good intentions. Simba, you know you wasn't out here trying to be with them women. You was getting what you wanted. Probably they was buying you some little food, some dinner. They was hooking you up, cooking, food and doing things and this and this and that. They were using you. They were using you for their pleasures and making you feel special for a minute. They wasn't trying to be with you either. Just like that 30-something-year-old girl, she couldn't take me to her people. I was 18. I still had on starter jackets and shit. She was a career-oriented military person. She can't take me to her people. That looked crazy as hell. AP said it doesn't even take that today, Wyatt, depending on what they're, depending on what you are in. He says, I've been in areas in the city on my bike, stop at a red light. These young girls will holler out about going with me. Makes no damn sense at all. Well, AP, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be funny at you, brother. I'm not suggesting that we can't be chose by younger women. But I am suggesting to you that there's an agenda behind that choice. I'm not saying, look, bro, I could probably, look, like CK said, I'm a happily married man and all this old shit. I got family and all that old shit. But if I really wanted to go pull something, I probably could. But you got to understand, I understand I understand what comes with it. They don't really want me. They may want something that I pulled up in. They may want to thinking they going to replace who at the house. They come to the crib and say they might want to replace who there. It ain't going to happen. They might think that I'm going to pay their rent. Ain't going to happen. Now, y'all got to understand, I ain't got no problem with guys that trick. I ain't got no problem. Whatever works for you, blood, that's what worked for you. I think it's some weak shit. I think if you were honest with yourself and you 50 and you go pull you a woman that's 40 or older, you have a better shot at being in some real shit than you do some I'm gonna pay for your time. I'm gonna find me a companion that might be 10 years younger than me because she can still, whatever. We can have a conversation and it's relevant to my time frame. I get all of that. But I'm not about to go get no 25-year-old girl so we can talk about what? Tell you what an old man told me one time, older guy that I looked up to, 20 years older than me, told me this 20 years ago. He said, man, I ain't got no time for that young girl. I said, she cold, bro. What are you talking about? He said, now, I don't want any kids to hear this little piece of story, but it's the truth. And all us grown folks we can understand. So I'm going to try to say it as clean as I possibly can. Parental advisory is up. I told him, I said, bro, she fine, she cold. He said, Wyatt, come on, man. What am I going to do? Once I do what I do, then what? What's after that? And see, real men, we look past, can I say, we look past the climax. Real men are going to look at it and be like, now, okay, I did that. Now what? And any man that wants to be bothered with somebody that they can't get anything other than that, that's I don't know, man. Just, I guess like CK said, I'm wrong for judging and saying other people. I'm speaking from a man of my caliber. That's all I can do. I can't speak for everybody in anybody's situation. I'm speaking on behalf of the men that think like me. And that is, I got to look past, okay, I just hit this, I just hit my peak, whatever. Now what? I got to look past that. I got to look past just that moment with a 20. I think that most people were reasonable, that are reasonable about situations like this, they have to say to themselves, and they may have done it once or twice. And the first time they did it, it didn't feel right. And they were like, what the fuck did I just do? And then some time go by, a year or two go by, and they just be like, you sure that wasn't right? And then they just do it again just to see. And they come up with the same conclusion, and they come to the realization that this shit is wrong. I got kids your age. Oh, I know it's some women out here. I know for sure it's men. But see, what's going to happen is ladies going to think I'm just talking about dirty ass old men. No, there's some old ladies out here, older ladies out here that again got caught up with a young boy or two. And the shit don't feel right. It feel right for that moment. It feel right for that moment because what he delivering to you, right? He bringing it. But when you get up and you let him out or wherever you going, whatever, you think about it. This is fucked up. This, you know what? You didn't smoke the joint and all that old shit afterwards. Whatever you do, took a drink, whatever. And then after that ether, that rush fall off of you and you become the person who you really are, you start thinking about it and you say to yourself, this is fucked up. I can't do that no more. I can't do that no more. I got kids his age. That boy mama my age. That's what y'all say. LaDonna said, when I was 28, she said, when I was in my early 40s, I was talking to a guy 28. Never again. Y'all wasn't talking. That's why never again. Because you know better now. Because y'all wasn't talking. Wasn't much talking going on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you, D. I ain't mad at you, Donna. I ain't mad at you. But like Linda Reed, let me just say this about Linda Reed, who I respect. I know who she is in real life. Linda got too much shit going on to even entertain a dude that's half her age. She got too much to lose, number one. She has her conversation. She's a woman, okay? She's like a real woman, a woman. Like she has too much going on in life to be entertained with somebody that's the age of a child that she could have. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the pleasure that comes from a person 25 years old is not, the pleasure is not good enough for me to have to deal with your dumb ass. That's how I feel about a 25-year-old girl. I'm be honest with you. Your pleasure is not good enough for me to have to deal with your ass all the time. Number one, I just can't get past my kids. I can't get past the aggravating way that my children act. And a 25-year-old daughter is not going to act any different than a 25-year-old girl out here when they want something, when they don't know something. You ever had a conversation with first, before you start talking about this shit to work out, how many of you have ever had a stimulant conversation with a 25-year-old if you're 50? That's my gauge right there. Who gonna have, when she start talking about, oh yeah, I know who the Isley brothers are, my daddy listened to them, that make you feel good? You tell her, oh, go watch The 5 Heartbeats, that's a good ass movie, and she was like, I cut it on, Wyatt, but that's some old movie. It's just supposed to be old. It's referencing back in the 60s old. That's the way. She don't even get it. She think the shit came out in the 60s and it's a 1960s movie. No, it came out in real time when we was listening to some good shit. It's just reference back to the 60s. You feel good about explaining every little thing, and then here's what happens when you dating them little young kids like that. Now you become a Mr. Know-It-All. Now you can't check them on shit. You can't say nothing. You can't tell them the truth about nothing. You can't let them know what they thinking is wrong. You can't fix their credit. You can't do shit for them, because you know why? Because they think you know everything. And there's the disconnect right there. There's the disconnect. Y'all done blew each other's brains out 1 or 2 times. Now what? So my daughter ain't got no time. I'm not gonna sit back and watch my daughter go through no shit like that. I'm gonna let her know. And how I'm gonna let her know is whoever she talking to, if I find out, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. That's just how it go. I'm gonna beat his ass, and she ain't gonna never want to be around. First of all, he ain't gonna want to be around her because he gonna say, nah, your daddy crazy. See what I'm saying? She ain't gonna have no choice because the dude ain't gonna want to be with her. He ain't gonna want, he got the wrong 24-year-old. That's how it go. You come over here, there's a price to pay. And that's how I would run my ship. And I'll circle back and tell you that I would rather my daughter come home with a 24-year-old who ain't got his shit together, and I got to tell her he ain't got his shit together. I don't like him. Here's the things you're going to have to worry about, and blah, blah, blah. You're going to live and learn. You're going to bump your head. I'd rather have to tell my daughter some shit like that versus a man that's 51 or 52 years old. And I got a problem with him. I don't have a problem with my daughter. I got a problem with him. All right. My daughter probably don't know any better. Somewhere he didn't finesse her motherfucking ass. Somewhere he finessed her. And now I got to check him for that. Like, bro, this is the wrong one. You got the wrong baby. What's up, E? Oh, wait a minute. Dina said he said 1 or 2 times. That's real. Exactly. Dina know what it is. She know what it is. At least some people admit it. That second time, Dina, you was like, man, what the fuck I'm doing, didn't you? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Like, I can't do this shit no more, man. I don't even know this mother. I don't even like him for real. It was good. Past the joint. It was good. But I can't deal with nobody. This dude talking about, he talking about what they watch. I don't even know what the kids 25. Okay, I know what my daughter watch. But I don't know what, all 25-year-olds watch. But I know I wouldn't be able to go to a movie theater or Netflix and chill with the shit that my daughter watch. I wouldn't be able to do that with a kid, with a 25-year-old girl. What we about to watch? What's that show? The witch shit. You know that look. What's that little movie that they watching the series and all that? They love series today on Netflix and all that old shit. I'm not about to sit down and watch no shit called High School. What's that shit called? I don't know. I don't even know. We ain't gonna sit down and watch nothing. Watch each other. But I ain't got no time to be sitting back trying to reminisce with a 25. Yo, my reminisce is Diana Ross. That's me thinking all the way back when I'm a kid. She gonna say, Diana what? See what I'm saying? Whitney Houston? Whitney Hugh? What did CK say? What was his name? What's his name? Luther what? Luther Vandross? The fuck? Who? No. You mean Luke? Nah, they don't even know Luke. Come on, man. That makes absolutely no sense. It just wouldn't go down. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah. I definitely have a problem. She listened to the baby, and you treating her ass like the baby. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I don't know how to say it. I wouldn't let Nan take my daughter at 50 years old. He 50, she 25. It ain't happening. Look, y'all, I went over the clock. That's my time. See you guys right here, same place, same time tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight over that one. CK didn't just tow my brain all the way up with the yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place right here. Peace and love.
Yeah, you don't know Nan vibing like this. You don't know Nan vibing like this. Yeah, you don't know Nan. You don't know Nan. You don't know Nan vibing like this. 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 Plain ain't watch no diamond my wrist. You don't know Nan vibing like me. Yeah, ready to catch a body like me. Yeah, see it, Jack and I see. Ain't think I was watching, I peep. I be outside like a sweet, clutching my fully when I hop in my V. Real baby, and I went number one. Ain't nan nigga pop it like me. Go deep, stiff in my swag. I see it. I ain't trying to kick it when all that I'ma need me that bad. Yes indeed, and I be needing it bad. Yeah, it's getting hot outside. Baby girl walked in and all that I seen with that. She turned around and I see she was bad. Had to turn on my swag. Hold on, you don't know nan vibing like this. 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 Plain ain't watch no diamond my wrist. Pop it, you don't know nan. Pop, stop it. It's in my hand with it. Yeah, drop it. I'm on the sand with it. I ran that chicken up. I went ham with it. Yeah, excuse me. I need to sit my down somewhere. Baby can't stand it. Bougie, she gon' send you. Go to the store like the making the band. Go, pull that thing out for a rip. Hey, I was f***ed up, now I feel better in it. With me wrong, I'ma deal with them. Go, might around have to hit that one. I'd rather run up that money and on it up. And park my whip right there and sit on it. When that hit it, they gon' wanna get on it. She gon' bust it wide open for big homie. You don't know nan vibing like this. 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 Plain ain't watch no diamond my wrist.